She was attacked by what appears to be essentially a robot.
Radio signal from another world. Sir?
This man is not a hero, he's a criminal.
Hello, sirs and madams. It's your buddy Admiral Teag. How's everybody doing out there tonight? It's good to see everybody. It is freezing freaking cold. And you know what? On the Star Trek front, we've got some news. On the New York front, we got a couple of things to talk about. Fun stuff for you. But I guess we'll start out with Starfleet Academy. All right. This week, they're setting their sights on Deep Space Nine. It's pretty uncomfortable for me. And hello to everybody. We got Gavin, who's here first. We have John the Beagle Dad and the Trek Reviewer are also here. Hey, tell your friends about me. Radioactive, sir. Hello. It's good to see everybody out there. Okay, listen, just really fast. This last Starfleet Academy was the worst Star Trek until the next Star Trek. And sadly, in about 36, 38 hours, that next Star Trek happens. And it will be whatever it is. I'm not hopeful about episode 5 of this series turning it around. I don't think that Alex Kurtzman ever will turn it around. I honestly think that what we're looking at here in Krimlon, hello, sir. It's really good to see you. Krimlon was co-host of the member stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. When we do that, keep an eye on the members' posts. There's usually what I do is I drop the pass in there like a little while into the show. I give people time to show up. I put the idea out there, hey, you can join me. And then if you have a membership, you can just jump on with me for the member streams. We'll do another one in a few more weeks. But I want to thank Krimlon, Radioactive, Mr. House Party 6, Ruby Hoove, and everyone else who's been great with the memberships. You guys rule. I really appreciate it. We have like a record amount of members, so thank you so much. I'll be working on that one for you. As far as content goes, there's a poll up there right now. I'm curious if you're in either stream, at the top of your stream, there is something pinned. If what's pinned is a hyperlink, that hyperlink is in fact a hyperlink that will take you to the landscape stream where I, Admiral Teag, am broadcasting in the beauty of landscape. Landscape is you know what a channel watches in landscape. It eats, sleeps, moves, and fights in landscape. But you know what? There's life on Mars, and like our YouTube masters like this one. So what I've taken to doing is I do one Mars stream a week, and it's all right. It's good for growth, and then if you're seeing me the first time, it's a good impression. I hope. and I try to do my best. And there'll be more solo stuff on Tuesdays than most other days, because that's going to be mostly Mars Day and your day to ask me stuff and your day to get involved a little bit as an audience. And if you tweet out that I'm live, like the stream, even if you're coming through later, absolutely helps me. We have a destructive episode of Starfleet Academy all loaded up for everybody coming to you in about a day. It is going to be terrible, is my opinion. In something like 27 hours, the next episode of Starfleet Academy drops. And if it's anything like we've experienced, I said something after Section 30, right before we watched Section 31. I said to Sean that we actually had like a small conversation about it. If you were here, we talked about how, hey, look, like everyone in New York, the only pen I have is the one I use to try to keep poor Deborah Messing out of that cab, the vote pen. So I can't pretend that I didn't vote at least once in the time that I've lived in this city. But real quick, Deborah Messing stepped out there, stuck out there in that cab, fairly cold, very sort of hot woman, still looking all right. I grokked this one. I was surprised. Deborah Messing, not only did she not vote for Zoran, fair to say she possibly hates Zoran. I don't know. I can't speak for her. I don't know. I don't know what's in her heart. But believe me on this one, she didn't vote for him. She has been very vocal. Hey, it's JRC. I'm sorry, JRC 99 US. Why do I keep doing that stutter thing with your thing? You give me dyslexia. It's good to see you, buddy. We warned the Pew Card Season 3 shills that this would happen. In Pew Card Season 3, I think that we agreed with the other people, but to a lesser degree. We did say, yeah, like this is, this is the first time they've tried. This is better. Some of the comments that I remember saying were, if this was the first thing they had ever did, maybe, there's still a lot of room for improvement. If this was the first thing they ever did, maybe. If they kept going forward in the spirit of this, maybe it's a different story by now. But Picard 3 still had too many problems. And I think the other guy from Enterprise has a good idea for us. I think that we should all try to get behind the Star Trek United thing. Hey, Headcase, hello. Listen, if you tweet at Paramount Plus that fans want Star Trek United, you will get some traction. And if you see me tweeting it, you know what? Retweet it. Retweets are the strongest form of endorsement. I'm going to put the text of a tweet that you can retweet. I don't mind anyone retweeting this and saying I told you to do it. And I would also say this: there's some other people out there doing Star Trek. I get it. You're not going to do it as well as I do, of course, but you know what? You're welcome to try. It's everybody's game, right? So I would ask you this: whether you like or dislike me, you don't have to attribute this to me. And if you feel like making it your own idea, I'm not going to pretend to fight with you on it. I'll let you keep it. I'll let you say that it's your idea. Okay. Here's what I'm asking you. Please do me a favor, everybody. Let's tweet this out. Let's let Paramount Plus know that fans want Star Trek United. It's the Jonathan Archer show. Or Doomcock has been calling it the Captain Archer sequel show, and that makes sense. But I've been on this story for a long time. Sig Fallison is here. It's good to see so many of you. It's nice to have you here, sir. How are you? You're doing a tremendous job, sir. Okay. Listen. Star Trek United is going after Deep Space Nine this week. I'm not sure that people are going to be. I'm not sure how the fans are going to respond, and I'm not sure, or I guess I should say, sadly, I am sure how the media is going to react. There's going to be a very big shill media reaction, and I think that we're going to be stuck with people trying to tell us that this was great. Last week, we saw them redefine the Klingons. That was one of the worst things I have seen maybe in all of my Star Trek watching life. Really, maybe one of the worst. I had... you know what, Sig? I hear you. If you didn't dig Enterprise, you won't want to see this. And I get it with a lot of people. We've watched almost the entire series of Enterprise now. This is my case for why I'm supporting it at this moment. And JRC is going to be releasing a video tomorrow about how episode 5 coming fiasco. The episode 5 coming fiasco. We're gonna be on that one live, and I'm doing an upload on it. I think I'm also taking the temperature of the audience on this one. And there's a question out there. A ballot question has been submitted. Would you watch a video upload on Starfleet Academy from this channel? Yes, video essay preferred, 25%. Yes, just talk with the cam/avatar. No one likes that. I only watched you live, tied for first place. We only have 4 votes. People, you know what? I hear you. There was no appetite for Landman video essays, although that, whatever, I think that show's landing with an older demographic. And I don't mean older, but certainly older, more into live, not into the video essays, not trying to do the boomer kid thing. I will keep making video essays, but I think the next thing that we're going to do for Star Trek Academy, and Sean and everyone else has been testing the water, with 3,000 of you behind me, if I can't pull this off, I don't want to go viral, but can a third of the channel watch it like day one? You know, if I drop it in the morning, can a third of you guys try to like it? If you don't like, even if you don't want to watch it, could you like it for me? Because then, straw that stirs the drink a little bit. One thing I've seen on successful channels, and this channel is successful, and I thank you guys for it, but the channels that are where I aspire to be, Cold Classic Cage does have a lot more followers than I do, and a lot more community members, and a lot more people subbing her on YouTube, right? And I am on a couple other platforms, and I wonder if Rumble went down tonight. Let's see. It looks like I'm burning hot on Rumble. Let me see. No, once again, that seems to have not gone down. What a weird situation on Rumble. Oh, wait, no. We are blazing away on both Rumble channels. All right, cool. Perfect. All right, here's the deal. Rumble has a studio. You used to have to use it 30 hours a month to qualify for monetization. This is the thing Rumble hasn't told anybody. You don't have to get premium or tell them anything. They're going to have to pay you anyway. They just cut me a check. It wasn't great. I mean, as soon as you hit their payout, which is 50, they give you the money. To be fair, it only was the second time I got paid in 12 months from Rumble. Rumble is rough. You know, it's just there's not a lot of engagement over there. If you're not hardcore politics, they don't want to hear it. And so it's just rough. But speaking of hardcore politics, you look like the evil angel on Sydney Sweeney's shoulder. Oh, Sydney, baby. Oh, baby. You know what I did, guys, is I dressed like the Tachyon Pulse tonight so that you guys could see me here and see for yourselves if I am as big of a bastard as everyone says I am, and as pale of a bastard as everyone says I am. So as you can see, the pale part, it's overhyped. That's just the harsh light of the other monitor hitting me in the side of the face. I'm actually a deeply handsome man. I wish I had more of a HD thing to show it to you. But as we get into the show, would I watch Starfleet Academy? Seen 4 of them. The 4th one killed me. I still don't know why Doomcock doesn't push the damn button. Sig, we all have to wonder why Doomcock didn't push the button. But I'm glad that he didn't get angry when we joked around about the bad robot cutting his cable feed and killing the armadillo in his backyard. So, I just so people know that it was buried in the armadillo tradition from the reports I hear from my spy satellite over the center of the Earth with the ground penetrating radar. I understand that there was a bad robot seen leaving the location of the interrupted Doomcock stream, and that it dropped a cable cutter and killed an armadillo on the way out of Doomcock's yard. But I mean, that is just a rumor. We don't have the exact location of the center of the Earth, but a bad robot was seen, and we were sent here to find bad robots. So we'll see if we can't get that straightened out. But what with Kurtzman? I gotta tell you guys something. I don't know. Like maybe I'm a ride or die kind of guy. This is my opinion. I don't want Kurtzman to be set for life off of Star Trek after what he did to it. We've done so much damage. It may be over already. Whether or not we can stop him, I don't know. But Kurtzman has done so much damage, I don't want him paid out. Oh, on Rumble? Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It does bring up a good point. I'm glad that you got me to segue to it because I did have to get back to Kurtzman here rather than talk about the various platforms. So, um, one of the things that's been said is because of Star Trek, people are changing their minds on the Warner Brothers sale, even though they don't feel good about Netflix. I'm inclined to endorse that point of view. I still think it would be better if Paramount got it, but wow, are the Ellisons ever looking inept right now? I don't know if I don't know how tied their hands are. I don't know how bad NDAs are. I don't know how deep their pool of money is, except that, like, I would like to swim around in it. I would absolutely like to Scrooge McDuck around in that kind of money. But the Ellisons, they couldn't look worse right now. Their whole thing is that they at least are standing up for the idea that there should be some movies that are fun for the whole family, right? And there should be some movies that are just for a family, which I think are slightly different. There's some overlap there, like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom might not be for the whole family. Like your young kids might freak out, but fun for the whole family. Those movies exist. I would say even something like maybe Wrath of Khan, even though there's a little bit of body horror in it. Like you might be able to calm a kid down off of that one. Like maybe that one might be fun for the whole family. But it's good to see everybody out there. And like I said, as far as Rumble goes, yeah, you don't have to get premium. They just seem to take care of it on their own, which is nice. If you're on the landscape stream, you're where I would hope you would be. Thank you. And we'll have an active sci-fi crime scene in about 27 hours. It sucks. What are you going to do? We have no choice on this one. Starfleet Academy is going to drop. When it drops, and last week it was a little late, like I was like, oh, maybe they changed their minds. I think it was Az that said, or it was Az or Nerdrotic or them talking to each other, where they said the real thing to do would be take it off the air in the middle of the episode. Just tear it off, just rip the USB stick out of the main or whatever it is, delete the file, like whatever it is, you have to just make it go away in the middle of the episode to make a statement. This is why you have nothing to lose. First of all, there is absolutely no way that you're going to get in trouble for it. You're not going to get in trouble for ditching this Star Trek. You'll start a conversation and let everyone know that it's gone. That would be good. So free publicity that it's gone, that would be good. Although that free publicity comes at the price of possibly having to pay out Kurtzman. Now, I pointed out that it seems to be an obligation to show any Star Trek that they buy from Kurtzman. Kurtzman has the right to make Star Trek. We don't think he's allowed to make any more. That's why he flooded the zone with so many bad projects in 2024 and 25. 2025 kicked off with Section 31, and we thought that was as bad as it gets. And by the time we got to the end of 2025 with some of these Starfleet Academy trailers and the beginning of it, we knew that this was going to be worse. And I said something before Strange New Worlds season, are they calling it 3? I said that all Strange New Worlds was like the most destructive to the Star Trek brand of all. And I believe that it is, because that's the one that they keep trying to pass off as no one really watched the secretly excellent Star Trek show. It's not a secretly excellent Star Trek show. People watch the first few episodes. It's just a terrible show. It's not good sci-fi. It's not good Star Trek. It's not good entertainment. It's not good TV. It's one of the 15 or 25 worst things I've ever seen in my life. Okay, it's bad. It's very, very bad. It's very, very sad. And the thing that I said was, in the middle of Starfleet Academy, I said, we've achieved a velocity now where the descent is far faster than it was during during Star Trek Strange New Worlds. During Section 31. This was the Matrix. Section 31 was the single worst piece of Star Trek to come out. Then, a few months later, it had become sort of a laughingstock, and the pain had gone away. Although watching it was like really painful. Like we hated every minute of that. It was tough to watch. There were sequences where we were just, absolutely tired of the Kurtzman wordplay. His dialogue is among the worst in all of television, and it's only getting worse. So there's not a lot to be said for it. It's poorly made. We had poor Alex Kurtzman wordplay, poor Alex Kurtzman sight gags. When we had wordplay filtering into sight gags, like the exchange between the guy with all the piercings in his freaking face and the box and the MacGuffin with the God's End in it running around, and she's running around with some sort of like transporter thing, like it's an ankle bracelet too, like fittingly. She gets stuck in a wall for a minute, long enough for him to get away, and then it's no problem. She went through dozens of walls, and then that one just, there's never any causality. It's always the shakiest storytelling. With Alex Kurtzman, there's an expression that was out there that South Park guys sort of popularized it, and it's a certain kind of storytelling that's just really, we call it this on this channel. Then this happens. That's how they put it. They're like, a lot of movies today are just this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And that's not the sign of a good movie. In a good story, what happens is this happens. You have to start somewhere. This happens. So that causes this to happen. Therefore, they do this, which causes this. Meanwhile, this is happening. So everything is, like logical. And Starfleet Academy has been the biggest departure from that. It was said by George Lucas, if I make a movie and it's passable, but it's not great, if there are mistakes in my continuity, if there are people blipping around, if there are bad special effects mixed in with the good just randomly, you may not notice it, but your brain does. And that's what's going on with Starfleet Academy. There's just this knock-on effect, and it just goes on and on and on, where we're constantly sinking to a deeper and deeper low. And with Starfleet Academy, I think one of the things, look, I'm John Gill. Our ships are leaving now to reestablish our presence. I really don't see Starfleet Academy being any better this week. I think that we're looking at another huge low. I also think that the idea that they're crossing over with Deep Space Nine, I wouldn't expect to see Avery Brooks. I wouldn't expect to see Sirach Lofton. I wouldn't expect to see anyone with any connection to the Deep Space Nine show. I just can't imagine it. Who's out there? I mean, maybe they get a surprise voice. Maybe they get a surprise audio from Terry Farrell. Random guess. I don't have anything to go on. I'm saying, like, maybe they were like threw $300,000 at like Terry Farrell and just like, please just record this. Like, they might not have it. I'm sorry about that, guys. I had to clear my throat. If someone like Nog was still alive, maybe he would be financially in enough trouble to need it. Avery Brooks is going to probably tell them to go F themselves. William Shatner trolled them back recently very well. I don't know if there's anyone from like Alexander Fidel has fuck you money. He doesn't care. Sirach Lofton has a great Star Trek name, but I don't think he cares. I don't think he does Hollywood anymore. I do not think Sirach Lofton cares at all. I don't think that there's anyone out there from Deep Space Nine you're going to get. Colm Meaney has a real career in Europe. He doesn't care. He's not going to do it. Not for these people. Not for that. So I just like the Nana Visitor. I mean, who would they possibly get to do it? And like, how much money do they have? There are theories being kicked around today on Nerdrotic Nooner where they were talking about Starfleet Academy most of the show. And they were saying different mistakes that they saw. No one caught the ground off hand by the green screen plus the CGI that collapsed the thumb into the base of the hand. No, they didn't catch that I saw. But they were talking about the speech and the mistake. And I want to watch it again, but we frame by frame this. And if I remember correctly, what happens was his back is turned when he says the line, and they could have dubbed it, and they didn't. And the criticisms by Az, Nerdrotic, and X-Ray Girl, I believe, and Mauler said, they could have cut to a random student, had Robert Picardo redo the line, and then, had it be right. But they had a hatred of New Trek, so they might have been sabotaging it. I had not thought of that they had been sabotaging it on purpose. Here's why, though. Even though it's inaccessible through most of what they do, it really did come across like a very bad performance. It really did come across. Yeah, like they used that joke from like middle school. Like young adult humor, is that like actually coding for like adolescent humor? Like, is this aimed for adolescents, or is that what they think of young adults now? If young adults now, if people who are like 20 now, the age of the characters that are supposed to be in Starfleet Academy, aside from that stupid fucking hologram, like, wow. And I'll have some great video for you if I can pull it up. I don't know. There's some news footage. I know Headcase, you grokked the Avatar a bunch. Headcase is a new Avatar. It's pretty cool. So what I like about it is the paint splatters are very much like the colors in the Star Trek movie posters. So you got the skull and you got the biohazard. I think the real Headcase is a good one. Another suggestion would be a bowling bag shaped like a human skull, like a head case, right? A case for a head. But, like avatars be avatars. Everyone's got to find their own. Trekker Viewer says, I'm surprised Kurtzman has not made himself an on-screen admiral yet. I don't know if maybe he has some sort of mention on some memory wall that we didn't give a shit about, or if he's one of the people. He may have put himself on some bulkhead, but no one cares and no one's going to take note of it unless there's the USS Kurtzman, which will upset people. By the way, guys, get your Amy Osborne material ready to go. We'll get it all out later in hour 2, I guess. We're going to talk about Starfleet Academy a little longer. What are they going to do? Last week, we recontextualized the Klingons into a polyamorous bunch of asshole love hippies who, are they also bovine? I mean, what next? Do they have they have 2 decks. Is that because they have 2 stomachs? Is the food going to go from stomach to stomach to stomach to stomach? And then that's, they have 2 sets of digestive systems. This is one of the stupidest, most enduring traits of New Trek is the destruction of canon. So I get why people were speculating if maybe there was a problem with, did they want to get away from, you're welcome. Did they want to just undermine the canon? And the only reason I disagree is not because it's not valid. And it was a valid discussion. They were right to entertain it, whether or not they're sure of it or not. Here's the reason why I'm a little bit up in the air about it. I think you could hear the way Robert Picardo stops and stumbles and has a mistake, and there's a problem in there, that he knew he blew the line. He may even have blown the line, and there's a moment there where he appears to be looking slightly off camera. Sean mentioned it. I think I saw it too. I don't want to watch it again, but if you do watch it, look for that moment. It appears what happens is after he blows the line, he then stops and turns a little bit and looks at the camera. And he's like irrevocably turning around, and like there's a moment, and he doesn't act for a second. He's a little blank, and he goes back to acting pretty quick. And the cadets just don't get it. They're just acting like they're paying attention to him anyway. So I feel what he did was he looked over to the director, and the director was just like this. And went back to like Sudoku or whatever they were doing. They didn't care. They were on their fucking phone playing like a game. They could give a shit about the story. So I honestly think that what happened was Robert Picardo seems to have noticed that he blew the line. He seems to have mentioned that he blew the line on set. While he's there, he stops and looks slightly off camera, gets waved on to continue, and he finishes it. And I guess he figured, okay, they'll finish it in post because this take isn't usable. They could have just kept the, like Nerdrotic said, shot a random student with the camera, put the camera on a random student, give us a shot of that, then switch back and, had Robert Picardo walking up those stairs, and have him continue the speech, and it would have been acceptable. What do I think happened? I do think that it got noticed because I think it was noticed by Picardo. So I'm not giving them credit for noticing it. I'm saying I think it was noticed by Robert Picardo. I think the next thing that happened was he told them, they waved him on, he finished it, and he expected it to get finished in post. They may have gone so far as to bring him into a room with microphones and let him speak into them and just like laughed at him while he was doing it and just like not cared. They don't care. Okay. Like, I think the response was like, what does that have to do with you getting me a cup of fucking coffee? Was how Mahler put it to them as far as the response from the director. And I think there's a good chance he's right. I don't think they care. But some of that might be cavalier and some of that might be I don't know that they had enough money to have even the basics. Hey, Sean Carter is here on the chat. Hello, Sean. And hello, John. It's good to see you. Sirs, we're talking a little bit in hour 1 about Starfleet Academy. And then in hour 2, we have some fun stuff about dog sledding across New York and various celebrities. Excuse me, guys. Slightly changing maybe their perception of us. Did anybody know that with issues connected to the election of the New York mayor, Deborah Messing has been canceled in Hollywood, is back in New York, and she is flaming Mamdani every day. She is flaming him like on a regular basis. And without being too specific, I think you guys can figure out what I mean is she has somewhere between 5 and 7 reasons that go back about 4,000 years to hate or at least deeply dislike Zoran. And whoa, Sean Carter, thank you. $2. It sounds like you're on a different mic. Does it sound good or bad? Let me check my audio source because I was a little bit cavalier just coming in here. I changed up the mic a little bit. I'm trying to get the audio to be a little bit. It is my USB mic. I changed the audio. Does it sound different, better, or different, worse? I was too loud, like in like 2 shows back. And it was just, we were out of sync. Also, over the course of the longer shows, people drift away from the microphones. There's different volume levels. That one's on me. I want to apologize to the panel and the channel. This is not like, oh my God, look at the horrible thing I've done. But I tried to shoehorn 2 shows together. And I don't know, like maybe we'll address this next time in a little chat. But I should have gotten that show done in under 3.5 hours or less. The 4.5-hour show should be the outlier. 4.5-hour shows are for the rare occasions where we beam up Mark. We were saying we rolled out a policy about a month ago. We didn't make much of it, but no more guests really on the Star Trek or the Landman show because we do a very fulsome deep dive. I don't know anyone else going scene by scene through Star Trek Enterprise. We really dive deep. There's nothing we miss. And we do the same painstaking approach for Enterprise. Did we invent it? No. It's just all this film itself. A lot of people, when they make their video essays, have to watch it like 10, 11 times. This crew's made a stronger fucking stuff than me. I could not watch Starfleet Academy 10 times. It's that bad. It's really, really, really bad. So he makes great videos that are as long as the episode anyway. Watch those. We will probably have an upload version of a comment. We're going to test a theory with it. I don't know how organic the engagement on some other Star Trek channels is, by which I mean the only person who I know anything about is me, right? I know what I get. There are things that are not nefarious people can do, clickbaity titles, rotating panelists, a very large panel, things like that to pump up your concurrent numbers. But with uploads, the way to be nefarious, it's a little bit more trackable. And thank you, Sean Carter. I really appreciate it, sir. First super chat of the new month. Welcome to February. It started off with, weird stuff, but let's stick with, we have an audience now. Reset a little bit. At the top of the show, I said we would be rolling out with Starfleet Academy, and we are. We introduced the main thing about Starfleet Academy is that now people are starting to wonder, was the mistake in the speech from the drumhead on purpose to defame regular Star Trek, or was it a mistake? Lombardi is here. Lombardi, was it a mistake? Was it on purpose, Lombardi? Tell me, help me, sir, help me, sir. I saw 2 minutes of Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. Those 2 minutes, I can never get back at all. You guys have really made it worthwhile as far as the amount of views and the amount of likes that we get when we watch it. The most encouraging thing is this, though. Enterprise still does better. This week, I chaptered the show. If the upload seems too long, it's chaptered. You can fast forward. When the screen changes color from Enterprise in black to Enterprise in white, we have changed over to the episode. At the beginning, with the Mirror Universe logo for the show, the Enterprise in black font, that is us discussing New Trek, which it makes sense to do. Star Trek should be thought of as, in mourning. And I think that there will be a more traditional video for me about our year in hell coming up, because I do believe that even though into February, it's still about a year left. And 2025, we've had a sample of it. And, get ready for the Star Trek fans' year of hell. We thought Section 31 was bad. That now looks like high-quality Kurtzman Trek. The damage went away. Will the damage go away from Starfleet Academy? I don't know. It seems like the most lasting damage has still been from Strange New Worlds. That episode with the handheld cam, the episode where they went after Gene, all of those were objectively just much worse than what happened with Starfleet Academy, which is just a poorly told story that panders and is a piece of shit. Okay? I also think that Starfleet Academy, while it's hilariously bad, and does throw some shade onto the Ellisons in general. And Sean, was it just me, or did Robert Picardo seem to look toward the camera for a moment after he fucked up the speech? He's like, irrevocably change us. It seems like he does, like, there's a moment there, and then he starts acting again. He's on pause, like, irrevocably, and that's like where he realizes it, because he's supposed to say, I believe, this changes us irrevocably. He might have been able to bail it out by going irrevocably changes us, but come on. What they're supposed to do is have another take. These are my feelings. They told him we'll fix it in post. They brought him into a room and probably had him talking to a microphone like an asshole with no idea what was going on. Yeah, he knew something was off. Yeah, Nerdronic and Az, X-Ray Girl, and Mueller were right to talk about it because it was worthy of discussion. These guys do attack Star Trek and Star Trek canon all the time, but that didn't seem like a subversion. Quarash, that might have been a Kronosh. That might have been a perversion on purpose, or it might have been them not checking their AI scripts. I don't think they fucking care. They knew all this was made knowing that the Ellisons were going to get rid of them. Now, the other day I told you guys that the Ellisons were proposing that they put out the equivalent in money of one season's payroll for 30 decent NFL teams every year as far as movies. Now, they said if they bought Warner Brothers, they would make 30 big movies a year. That's huge. And that would have put people back in movie theaters, and it would have been good for the entire industry. Now, this Star Trek Academy thing, it looks how it is. It looks like a fucking disaster. It is absolutely terrible, and it's bad Star Trek, okay? It's really bad TV. It's not entertaining. With the botched production, I do think they hoodwinked Robert Picardo, and I think he's finally shut up. I think he shut up. I think last week shut him up. Although he did drop something saying, I hope you'll stick around for episode 5 or episode 6. I think it's going to be great. So, threat issued. And by the way, challenge accepted. We're we're halfway there. We like, what did they say in Young Guns? I shall finish the game. We're probably going to watch it anyway. Star Trek Enterprise is a great series. I hope that one day the Federation versus Romulan War can fully be explained. It might not just get explained. It might get explored. If you guys tweet out the tweet that I put in there, if you guys tweet out what I put in there about this, if you copy and paste this a little bit further, it's not that far up the chat. We don't have a lot of comments yet. Comment. Use those emojis if you're a channel member. Let's get this chat active and off the ground. This week, they're going after Deep Space Nine. Will they redefine the pirates? Will they go after the wormhole aliens? Will they say that Keiko was the only good teacher at the school on Deep Space Nine? All of these things and more are up for grabs and can be wondered about. I personally am very concerned that what they do is they get just some voice actor, say it's Avery Brooks, merged with the Pa Wraith and like a and one of the prophets. Worst case scenario is Sirach Lofton or someone of equal acclaim from Deep Space Nine shows up. We don't want that. Next worst thing would be audio of them. Hopefully we don't get that. All we know is they will say it without being able to deliver. We've seen this a few times. They can't deliver. They cannot deliver on what they say. And that most of the time they only think they're doing what they say they're doing. I don't think that they know how to do what they're doing. It's like, sir, what would you like, sir? What, like right now, what can I do for you? Right away, sir, yes, sir, can we, anything for money, sir? And it's ridiculous. Alex Kurtzman is like, one of the things that they mocked him for was when he says this is going to be more authentic. He's clearly acting in the premiere, and we watched it, and I was wrong. That woman with him, I guess it's not his wife. It's the head writer, and she doesn't have the resume for this, so it would be unfair to go after her too much if she hadn't have taken the money, but she did. By the way, you knew this would happen when you took the money, lady. So I'm sorry. But your story fucking sucks. And you tell stories the way a fucking asshole would. These are asshole stories. Guys, please, emojis, help me out. Spam a little bit. Get the chat going. Also, you know what? With the episode we saw, I saw something weird today, too. There's something weird going on across the entire platform. I saw a guy playing a low-res, older video game, friend of mine, nice guy. And I hadn't tweeted out that I was watching him, and he got classic bot swarm sign. Sean, sir. Well, that's a comment for $5 United States dollars. Says we're going to see the Keiko O'Brien Memorial School of being a complete fucking biatch. I would go to that school just if she was the swim teacher. Oh man. We saw the pictures of Keiko, who I sometimes accidentally call Hoshi, and Jerm had the best delivery on the call out. I stood up Jerm yesterday for the movie. I went there. I was early. I winked in and out of consciousness, and when I winked back on, I think there was still time left to go there, but I didn't know it was going on for like 20 minutes. Sometimes when I wake up, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting to that point now. Sometimes I take a nap between 3 and 5, and sometimes I just fall asleep unplanned. Like if there the other day after being out in that snowstorm and seeing, my God, that rat. I know this is not a flattering thing. Like I'm not. It's not a gross picture. I'm not going to show you the worserous one, but as those of you know, I took a picture of a rat. This is the deal. I have never seen this before. I have seen rats, and I have seen rats. I live in New York, and this one, it's very far away. Don't worry, ladies. Anyone with a weak stomach, anyone afraid of rats, Henry Jones, Senior, don't worry about it. You're not going to see much, but sorry, Sydney. That's how big the fucking thing was. This is what happened. This is the most New York thing ever. I had a meeting, okay? And I had to go over and talk to, and this is the fucking Bronx. I talked to some people, and at the end of the meeting, I was walking in the subway, and my shrink calls. Now, everyone here is glad that Admiral Teag has a fucking shrink. Let's not even joke around about it, right? So my shrink calls, and he's like, more anti-crazy pills, sir? And I'm like, yes, I absolutely do need more anti-crazy pills. And he was like, sir. And I was like, sir. And he's like, I think we can arrange the pills. I was like, thank you, sir. But the thing is, he's like, he has to ask a bunch of questions about how I feel, and I have to actually have a conversation with him for like 4 or 5 minutes, you know. And also, like, I don't want to go off the rails. I pay the guy to check me out. So he's asking me questions about my life. And what sucks is it's 8 degrees, and I'm standing outside the subway, and I don't want to go there. There's people smoking weed at the entrance to the subway. Big deal. It's not illegal anymore. They're talking about how once they get done smoking weed, they're going to the liquor store. It's 8 degrees. It is 8 degrees. You need a dog sled to get across town. Now, some wind blows and some garbage and some bags blow away, and I see this thing, and it is something. You can see behind it right there. Its tail is it's huge, sirs and madams. That right there, that object. Look, that right there. See that object behind. See the actual mass. And then the white object at the 6 o'clock position, and then there's a little more darkness. That's the actual thing's tail. This thing was like a 7-8 pound maybe a little less, but 5 to 7 pound, like buffalo shaped, goddamn right, most New York thing ever, trying to wrap up the meeting and get done with it. This fucking thing's on the street. I'm absolutely, now I have disappeared. Sean, thank you. The Keiko O'Brien School of Being a Beatrice. By the way, that's a Starfleet, Star Trek Deep Space Nine plot thing that they couldn't really close up, right? They just had her be a tutor after that. And then, like, not too long afterwards, like, the Cardassians and the Dominion and everybody starts fighting on the station, and, Space Station Mine, and all those great episodes. And, the Dominion War just gets going full time, and there's that great season. And so we don't have the school to worry about anymore. We get it out of our story. So they can, who knows? There are so many Deep Space Nine episodes that I'm going to make a confession. I like Deep Space Nine, but it's my least favorite original Star Trek show. And I know that's blasphemy because it's a lot of people's favorite, and a lot of people like it better than TOS. I understand why. When they built up to the point where they were really knocking it out of the park, they really did have some of the very best Star Trek ever. And what happened was just seriously living life, placed at the wrong time in my career, placed at the wrong time in life. I watched most episodes, but I mean, it was like, I had like a very serious life going on, a very serious relationship going on. I'm like sitting on the couch, I'm like trying to do life-related work stuff, and I'm trying to get ready for like, the next day's job, and it's fucking stressful shit. And I've got like a girlfriend, and she's great. And I'm like trying to pay attention to her, and Star Trek just is on tip. So there's a lot. I mean, did I turn on every episode of Deep Space Nine? Sure. Do I remember all of them? No. And then the girlfriend went away, and the next girlfriend came along, and then that became the wife, and I found a way to watch Star Trek all the time again, because there's nothing like marriage to kill your exciting sex life. But that's a whole different story. So Deep Space Nine, I'm a little weak on it, and most of it was front-loaded towards the early seasons when I'm still like kind of in school, and it wasn't what it became at that point. It gets really good, and I love their uniforms. I love the way that actually my favorite doctor might be Bashir. I'm avataring, so there's no product placement while I drink this delicious sport drink in an identifiable looking bottle. I think the truth is, guys, if you drink out of anything but like a solo cup or a thermos, they're gonna like gig you for product placement or something. I don't know. But so I get off the phone with my shrink. It was okay phone call. It cost too much. And then when I was done, okay, for those with a weak stomach, I'm only going to show this for a moment, but it is what it is. You saw it from a distance. This is what it looked like up close. All right? This thing had been stopped dead in its tracks, and by dead, I mean like dead. And that was the best thing for this thing. But everyone was glad, like, no tears were shed for this thing. The unfortunate part was this. As the wind blew across this, its Yankee hat was blown away. So I didn't get that in picture. And as you were able to see, and fortunately it's facing the right way, so it won't be that graphic. If you want to see it, just rewind the stream. This time coded. It happened at the 48-minute mark. You can go see the tauntaun-sized rat that Admiral Teag had to look at while I was trying to convince my shrink that I was anything but insane. And he was just like, all right, you're no more insaner than usual. And it's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm looking at a gigantic frozen rat. And he's like, okay, anyway, he's known me a long time. He's used to it. But I also love that my doctor's name is Elvis. You can't beat that. Okay, but not surprising someone named Skirtsman would make a woke show. That is a funny insult. That is a funny diss on Kurtzman. I like Skirtsman, and it's decently funny. Also, I've noticed the main difference between TV presenters and YouTubers. YouTubers, you're allowed to fidget, you're allowed to adjust your hat, and you're allowed to scratch your fucking face. TV people, they're trained not to do that. That's what makes it eerily different. And you know what? Like, never trust anyone who doesn't scratch their face. That'll keep you with the real YouTubers. And do it for Teague. Do it for your buddy Teague. Come on. Do it, pearl green eyes. But you know what? I agree with you there. I will excuse you for saying your favorite Doctor is from Deep Space Nine. The correct answer is Leonard McCoy. Here's the thing: there's a lot more time with Dr. Bashir, and Dr. Bashir has episodes that are only about him to a far higher degree than Dr. McCoy. I think the best actor to play a Doctor is either Bashir or McCoy. I think that, and by McCoy, Carl Urban's good, but it's DeForest Kelley. DeForest Kelley was probably your best TOS actor of all. All the other ones looked up to him greatly. They did a great job of making sure that he was carrying, if you think about it, a lot of weight in all of those movies. Even though in the first one he's got a reduced role and it's more about Spock's journey. When they get into Wrath of Khan, he's carrying a lot of dramatic weight. He's there to break the news to Jim with Scotty. I mean, he can't do it alone, but it's big. DeForest Kelley's acclaim grows when they do the next movies. The director is a castmate. You can tell that Leonard Nimoy held DeForest Kelley in very, very, very high regard. And I would say we saw something that Peter Jackson does later, although it's, the cinematic stuff can be said, might have been inspired by Wrath of Khan. It's not in the book that way. When they come out of when they come out of is it Fanghorn Forest? And they see Gandalf the White. They have both Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen talking at the same time. And they do this cool mix with the voice. And they've done that a couple of times too. To use elements of the character. And by the way, we're getting a McCoy. I'm doing the weave. I like to weave my thoughts together. We're getting a McCoy. My God, it's the guy from The Expanse. It's Thomas Jane. It'll be the second time we have people from The Expanse in Star Trek. We had the cigarette smoking lady from the United Nations was in Star Trek. Hey, look, Social Distortion. Any fans? The lady from Star Trek Beyond. I love Bones, but Bashir was a hound and got some constantly. McCoy had to get a terminal illness to get sympathy away. Oh, yeah. I think my favorite TOS acting. Oh, my God. I've disappeared myself. Let me get back to where I belong. Sydney. Oh, no. No one wants my face here. Here we go. She looks good from both directions, guys. Take my right part. I think his best acting might be in The Empath. Think what you will of the episode. He might save it. That's why the memorable stuff in that episode is that it's great concept. It's not the greatest concept, but it's pretty great concept. It is a Star Trek worthy idea. It's just a disengaged Gene Roddenberry is not on it as much as he used to be. But that story I like because of his performance. He's great in it. He's great in that one. It's Jem, no. It's Jem, sing some songs at your bands and everyone will be okay. But I predict there will be a Holograms reboot in the next 2 years. I like that you're on the left side because you get to look down at your chat and you're looking down her shirt. Yeah. That's if I'm on the other side, it looks like you're looking down. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That is a good aesthetic to be looking down at the chat. Bashir was a whiny child, says John the Beagle Dad. That was one aspect to him. But here's the thing. He was a character with several different facets. He was also an enthusiastic doctor. He was also the victim of some abuse by his parents who altered his DNA when that storyline happened on Deep Space Nine, right? Dr. Bashir's father gets in trouble for what he did. I think Bashir's father has to go to a penal colony. There's some bad blood between them. I had this thing with Deep Space Nine. Here's the deal. If the episode started with Dr. Bashir, I hung in there. If the episode started with for at least one commercial break, because sometimes those could go off the rails. If it was Dr. Bashir and Garrick or Garrick, I'm there. I'm not leaving. I'm staying with the show till the end. Sorry, guys. I'm a little. It's really bad in New York as far as the cold and the snow. It's been affecting me. And in my apartment, it's just really dry. So I'm coughing a little bit. So I keep muting and turning my head so you guys can see it. So Bashir has a lot of traits. One of the things I liked was the frontier medicine stuff in episode 1 of Deep Space Nine, The Emissary. He's really cool in that one. Later on, Secret Agent Bashir. And come on, how could how could Malcolm McDowell, how could Dr. Soran's nephew not be cool, right? His uncle is Dr. Soran. And if you look at the middle of sitting Fidel's face, Alexander Fidel's face, you can see a little bit, especially he talked to his Uncle Malcolm about looking crazy. When Dr. Bashir goes crazy, his eyes pop out a lot like Malcolm McDowell's. Now, they don't have the exact same eyes, but there's something about the way he pops the eyes out, and there's something about the way he acts. Like, he plays crazy really well. Well, I mean, he had, the guy from Clockwork Orange as, like, his acting coach a phone call away. It's his mother's brother. I believe it's his mother's brother. That's why he has the last name being what it is. Week 3 3 weeks till baseball. Everyone's happy about that. Full disclosure, I didn't watch many episodes of Deep Space Nine nor Voyager. They lost me after the Amelia Earhart episode. The 33s or the 32s, that episode fucking sucks. But there is something audaciously sci-fi about it. It's low effort, but it is audacious that we would have like a menagerie almost. And that's what it's based on. The menagerie. That we have this menagerie of interesting humans from the past filtered through Guardian of Forever kind of magic, right? So we just have this magic portal in time where a whole bunch of notable missing people. And it's almost never like anybody that's like unimportant. I think, honestly, it was based on there's a Philip K. Dick book that I can't remember. Before I started listening to live streaming, I started my entry into YouTube was, I'm a little dyslexic, if you haven't noticed, when I type and when I do polls. But I enjoy reading a lot. It can be challenging to read for a long time or to read late. So the letters swim around bad when I'm tired. And so what I did is I like Audible and I like books on tape. You can find almost all of them here on YouTube. I listened to for like 3 months. You can do it in about 3 months. I listened to every single Philip K. Dick book, like numerous times. Okay, I was very into Dick. Couldn't get enough Dick. Clip it now, right? I mean, what can I tell you? Memers out there. So like, the bottom line is Philip K. Dick has a lot of stories about people who were taken out of time or out of place, or humans from now going to other times. And he also in them throws into games of chance and mental illness. If you want to hear a great, well-read story, somewhere on YouTube, find Clans of the Alphane Moon by Philip K. Dick. It's about a small planetoid, a moon, of a gas giant that is a mental hospital. And the entire planet is a mental asylum. And it's controlled by Earth. And during the war that they breaks out with another like spacefaring civilization. And here's the thing, the time involved in space travel is so enormous that we didn't realize that even though they'd been gone for 3,000 years, they wouldn't be, they could still come back. So they come back, we start a war with them. One of the hospital planets becomes the Alphane Moon, right? The Alphane Moon has a huge mental institution and it's like free range. But then we lose it in the war, and it falls under control of the other faction. But they don't occupy it. We just can't get there, and they don't have like the best. Even though like they have FTL drives, like it still takes them a while to get around, like longer than like Star Trek stuff. So during the delay in getting there is part of the story. The lunatics run the asylum on this one planet for something like 20 years, and maybe 30, and like. They segregate by mental illness, and it's just. Let me get rid of the picture of the goddamn rat. It's just disgusting. So they segregate by mental illness, and so they have a town for disorganized schizophrenics, and then there's a town, and it's called Adolf Hilterville. Now, some of the terms are really confusing because there's a term called hebrophrenic, and they pronounce it in a way that sounds pejorative in a 1950s way. It's been replaced by schizophrenic. A lot of the terms in psychology changed in the 60s. like memory engrams. Turns out there is no such thing as memory engrams. We thought that, I think the theory was your brain would get another convolution and shrink just a little bit every time you learn something, but that turned out not to be true. And so there are no memory engrams, which is the source of a lot of the stuff in the M5 episode with I'm sorry, the M5 episode with the ultimate computer. I hit the wrong mute button. I wanted to mute the camera for a moment while I take another sip of my tasty beverage. Is it the 37s? Mark, you're on the vertical stream. Do me a favor. If you could help me out, go to the top of the chat over there and click on the pinned post. If you see the pinned post and it's not a poll, that is your ticket over to the ad-free landscape stream. I'm still not mean enough to go heavy ads on the vertical stream because I want people to discover the show. And I'm sorry, I should have muted there. Excuse me. Like I said, it has been a wintry mess. Only 8 or 9 days of this horror story left. But let's remember on this day being yesterday in 2014, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio dropped New York City groundhog Staten Island Chuck, sending the animal into free fall. He killed poor Chuck in a cover-up that came to be known as Groundhog Gate. Chuck died 7 days later of internal injuries. Now you got to understand, when Warren Wilhelm dropped Chuck, okay, it was only like 4 feet, but it was like falling like 100 feet for poor Chuck, all right? And this was a tragedy in New York. I think only the picture does it justice. Here it is. We have proof. Guys, here he is. He is the head of the Young Communists at Yale. He had one of the most hilarious runs for president of anyone ever. He is Bill de Blasio, with his made-for-TV family and some of the most preposterous ideas ever to come out of a New York City mayor. And now we actually miss him. We miss this guy. Compared to what we got now, we miss him. There he is, the final moments. He lingered for 7 painful days at the hospital, but there it is, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio ending. And now a lot of people say that Staten Island Chuck just knew too much. A lot of people said that maybe Staten Island Chuck had some pictures of de Blasio. A lot of people said that Staten Island Chuck didn't like the fact that de Blasio said that New York City garbage bags should be made out of rat poison. Maybe he didn't like that. The fact is that the mayor clearly is responsible here for the death of poor Staten Island Chuck. R.I.P. Staten Island Chuck. Come on. I mean, can we get some love for Staten Island Chuck in the chat? I mean, R.I.P. Staten Island Chuck. Am I right? I mean, Bill de Blasio, godless communist, just with the absolute, look at the free fall here. And speaking of free fall, we'll get to Kelly Osbourne in a little while. But there it is, the murder, political murder, perhaps, of Staten Island Phil. Oh, Phil, who knows what he had to say? And as far as Bill de Blasio, did you ever think that we get to the point where we'd be missing him? It's like de Blasio compared to Mandami, one blizzard in, 10 days later, it's like, dude, you're not going to gaslight people with this one. But quickly back to Starfleet Academy and Deep Space Nine. My Deep Space Nine thing was this. I would hang in there if I saw Garrick. I would hang in there if I saw the Doctor. I would hang in there if I saw Jake and Nog. If I saw Cisco, if it was falling apart by the first commercial break, I'm out. If I see Quark, I'm fucking getting a beverage and I'm putting my feet up and I'm staying there. If I see Quark and Odo, I'm fucking lighting a joint. If I see, some of these combinations, they're great. And I love some of this stuff. But a lot of it, it didn't work for me. If I saw yet another episode where we ship Nana Visitor with Gul Dukat, no. I can live without the story about how Gul Dukat had her mother as his servant. uncompensated at Swish House down on Bajor, where they had the patriotism enhancement zone for the Cardassian Cardassian Union. Is that what they called them? The Cardassian Union? Anyway, these guys, they're Cardassians. They're bad. And I don't know, like, what will we see? Will we see Cardassians? Will we see bizarreness of every magnitude and order? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Will they try to destroy Deep Space Nine altogether? Well, they've been going out of their way to go after every other show, and I maintain that they're trying really hard to go after. They would do anything they could to get their filthy paws on Enterprise. I think they just lied to Jolene Blaylock to get her to do the voiceover. Told her, "Oh yeah, no, people like this show," and Jolene Blaylock could be forgiven for not knowing, right? But what the hell does she care? Now, I don't know what they're planning, but I do know they said Cisco. It involved Cisco undermining. You could cannon bomb Deep Space Nine. Here's the thing, and I wonder, you guys out there, tell me what you think. And I can see Staten Island Chuck just got no love. Thanks, guys. A beloved New York City mascot just destroyed. Well, you know what? We've got some New York stories for you at the end of the show, all of which are actually, I think you'll find fascinating and are showing the growing divide, not just in our country, but like how some celebrities seem to have maybe like, this is going to sound weird. Like, how Star Trek, it used to be great. And we used to agree with pretty much everything they said. But then it became a different kind of Star Trek when they rebooted the show. The movies had nothing to say. They were just empty garbage. They were the most saccharine garbage we've ever seen. But like with the show, it has been one terrible show after another. They cannot get it together. They do not know what they're doing. And, they keep making one mistake after another and just tormenting us with it. They will not let it go. And the idea that they would cannon bomb their own material is probably likely. By the way, I'm debuting a new feature here. I think Sean will like this. I have a new hobby. I've become an artist on my spare time. I'm going to show you. This is my art. Here we go. I've been working on this method now for a really long time, but you know what? Unlike other draw streamers, like the draw stream is just free. Anyway, the deal is here we go. I've begun my picture. As you can see, the person's face is close to or about the right size. This is just what I call roughing out the character. I'll do more on it later. But as you can see, Admiral just like ready to go here. And no, I am loving my new camera. How handsome am I in 1080, guys? How handsome am I in 1080? Come on. You know it. You know that you're going to scrape this to make it your own avatar. All right. So no one cares about Staten Island Chuck. I'm a little disappointed in you guys, but I think it's very sad that you are not for groundhog. I almost called him a woodchuck. Groundhog. Rights. I think it's sad that you hate the groundhogs. You know what? Take our poll though. Let's see. I want to see how the poll's going. And then we'll check in on our old friend and someone that this channel has an ongoing interest in covering as we hit our tip of Admiral Teag's Big Show. We got 12 people, 10 of you over on the landscape stream. 2 of you seem to like to watch vertical. There are no ads on the landscape stream. There are no wires. All right. I am the amazing Teag. Welcome to my show. Teag the Great and Powerful. Let me get that Yankee logo. Now I have too much headroom. My cameraman, what can I tell you? He's Latino. He used to be Latinx until I straightened him out. And I think by the time I get done talking to him, I can have this guy back up to speed as a Hispanic like myself. Once just another guy, DNA tests. Oh my God, I'm Hispanic. Then they're like, no, sir, you're Latino, sir. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right, good enough. And they're like, actually, sir, you're Latinx. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? Like Latinx? I don't know about this one. And I'm like, X's and O's. Like, I don't know, sirs. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, sir, this is not a very proper form of address. We prefer caballeros. And I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are even whiter than me because, like, I at least actually am Hispanic, and you guys are just people from Hollywood telling us this weird word. I want to know why I should call myself Latin 10. And they're like, that's not the word, sir. Sir, the word Latinx. And I'm like, fuck your word. So fuck their word. I don't like it. If I've never had any other Latino person be like, hey, you Latinx too, or Latinx too, or Latinx too. No one has ever fucking said that to me. And, you know, I don't speak Spanish. And I don't, but I curse that way. I was going to, you know, I was like trying to think of an equivalent for Frank Drebin. I don't speak French, but I curse that way. I don't speak Spanish, but I curse that way. I don't like Latinx. I think it's a bullshit word. Back to something of interest to our channel. We covered Ozzy's last concert, and we saw his daughter Kelly, and the way she looked was she looked as we remembered her at the moment that we saw her at the Ozzy final concert. All right, now I got a side by side here. I got a bunch of pictures, but here's one side by side. And I'll make it as large as possible so you can get a view here. This got talked about. That I didn't mean to make me larger. This got talked about a lot on social media all week. And what it was, the first thing they said was, you know, she has a dude's hands. And maybe here she is a little, like halfway through this, about halfway through where she is now. So it looks like what happens is, and I can't tell what happens is, there's like 3 different weight loss events for Kelly Osbourne, right? First, she gets the stomach surgery, and she loses some weight, and she looks better. Then, and here she is, you know, looking more. This is a lot closer to how we remember her, but like one face job in. And she also said, you know, I'm 40 now. I had every right to get a facelift. To which I say, yes, but you're like 40 in like a week. Like maybe you could have held off a little longer, but whatever, you know. And then now we got this. Have I grokked both of these pictures? No. The second one is worse than the other stuff we saw. Here's one that looks more or less like the stuff we saw. Yeah, I don't think I'll be signing up for your bullshit. We'll find a way to look at this picture for free. God knows it was everywhere. She had gigantic hands. I mean, and as you can see, like there's a more, you know, familiar Kelly Osbourne. And here she is, as we saw her the other night. Personally, I'm thinking, and by the way, Youngblood is doing that thing where you hang out with a half-naked chick. The girl he showed up with, though, smoking hot, wearing like a leather outfit, she was not tastelessly dressed. It was like a gothish kind of leather dress, patent leather and tight. And he was cheeky and slapped her right on the ass. But you know what? Youngblood, first of all, I want to say, I think Nito Betancourt has to stop fucking overplaying at every Ozzy tribute. I realize it's hard to approach, you know, Randy Rhoads, but could you honor it by doing it in the Randy Rhoads style rather than putting your own spin on it? Which, by the way, Nito Betancourt, who good, no wonder they wanted. You know, he is just a really good Eddie Van Halen clone. Okay, he is good. I'm not mocking him. I wish I could play guitar that good. That said, if I had spent my time focusing my guitar playing towards playing like him, I probably could. I wanted to play solos more like Chuck Berry, something with some meat to them, something with some excitement. So anyway, there's Youngblood. The only good part of the Grammys was Youngblood. He made me cry. Look at the even more stark here, but this is earlier in the weight loss. There she is, as we remember her from the Osbournes, and wearing her "Speak of the Devil" T-shirt. Cute. Again, this is the more familiar. And then we got this. And then I don't know if this happened and then here's, you know, the most familiar look for her, looking very good here as compared to, you know, what the hell. So she looks like a drag queen, especially with those gigantic hands, looking terrible. And people, she owned it. I'll give her that. Let's see the hands. She owned it. I'll give her that. She said, I'm not doing very well. I'm very sad. I've been enormously, you know, I'm paraphrasing. I've been enormously grief-stricken since I lost my father. He was great. I loved him. And, fuck off. And her mother said, well, of course she looks thin. She can't eat. She can't eat at all. She can't eat. And I'm just thinking to myself, Sharon looks like she's doing a little bit of the Ozempic too. This looks like more than just not eating. Is it Ozempic? I don't know. I think Ozempic is probably in the mix, but let's just say that I suspect there might have been a pattern of erratic behavior, maybe a history of erratic behavior in Kelly Osbourne's family. Call me crazy. I think Ozzy Osbourne's daughter can lay claim, and Sharon Osbourne's daughter. By the way, you can find pictures. To keep Ozzy Osbourne making money and from dying at like 40, they used to steal his fucking clothes so that he couldn't leave the room. They'd like throw a bottle in the corner. He'd like go running after it and start like sucking down the booze. And when he wasn't looking, they'd remove his clothes and lock him in his hotel room, right? So one day he decided, because he's crazy and an alcoholic at that point actively, right, and has no shame, what he's going to do is he puts on his wife's clothes, which fit him because Sharon Osbourne used to be really huge. And he was got, there's so many pictures of Ozzy Osbourne just wearing his wife's everyday clothes in a bar because he had nothing else to wear and just getting fucking wasted off people buying him drinks because they wouldn't let him have any money either. That's how the Alamo thing happened. I think he might have been naked or close to it or cross-dressed, because he had nothing to cover himself to go out in public. So he had more. You can go out cross-dressed, but you can't go out naked. You know what? If everybody who had to go out and drag did it for the reasons Ozzy did, it would be a little funnier. But she's looking worse and less like a woman than when Ozzy would put on his wife's dress and just go out as a goof to get wasted. And we wish her well. I was really. It takes a while for this to dawn on you, but hi, Sydney. It takes a while for this to dawn on you, but we've known Kelly and Amy and Jack all their lives. When Wes Cagle and I were in high school, we had a Black Sabbath T-shirt, and the album was called Born Again. If you look at the album cover for Black Sabbath's Born Again, there's a baby on it, and the baby's all like deviled out. It's got devil horns, and people say Black Sabbath are Satanists. Oh, that is not true. The Black Sabbath guys are not Satanists. They were performatively doing it and openly admitting it that it was interesting aesthetics and interesting inspiration for their art. And with the movies and all the stuff, like there was like a big occult thing in the 70s. Led Zeppelin did it too. The inside album cover of Zeppelin 4 has this weird picture in it. And God only knows what the hell it is. Guys climbing up the stairway to heaven, maybe? I don't know what the hell it is. The guy climbing a mountain to another guy holding a lamp with like a Star of David inside, and it couldn't be more fucking weird. But that's the 70s for you. And of all rock star daughters, Sophie Simmons is my favorite. Is that Gene's daughter? That's because her mom is Shannon Tweed, if you remember her from the Dirty Movies back in the day. Yeah. Gene Simmons' daughter's mom is Shannon Tweed. So if that's who Sophie Simmons is, I've seen her, and the last time I saw her was a while ago, but she was of age and cute last time I saw her. If I'm thinking of Gene Simmons' daughter, she was like 20, and his son was like 30. And like, I wanted to be a rock star's kid because all they did was live at home and keep Gene from going off the rails. Apparently, when you're a rock star, you have a family to keep you from going off the rails. So, like, obviously, we're all a little worried about Kelly Osbourne. We don't want to see anything bad happen to her. And we would hope that she gets over it. But seems like Sharon out there making excuses for her. And, Sharon, there's tattoos I have because of Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not going to show them to you now. But, I probably have all tattoos because of Sharon, of Ozzy Osbourne. And hello to the dead man. Dead man! Have you seen how Amy Osbourne looks? She is not looking particularly healthy. She is not looking particularly spry. As a fan of Ozzy's music and a fan of Ozzy, I don't want to see another member of his family. I don't want him to lose another family member. Oh, no. It says here, now I don't know if this will affect the political situation, but it says that there's eye secretion statement in effect. I don't know if that applies to me or some of my family members who came here later on. Although I point out that as a Cuban, I have very little to worry about. My dry feet and the fact that I was born here to two American parents has me set. But even if they were like no birthright citizenship for the Cubanos, we're the good Latinos, the good kind, starring Admiral Teag. I'm just kidding. I love all the rest of you too, except maybe Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, I understand his passion. He's spun up over something. But I would point out that Puerto Ricans wouldn't get deported. They're American citizens. I don't think Puerto Ricans get sent back. And if I had it correct, Bad Bunny is Latino. I think I had accidentally called him Colombian. Sorry, Colombia. I apologize to Colombia. But the Super Bowl halftime show is going to be great, right? Green Day, at least, I mean, everyone's saying they always sucked. I got to be honest. When they had that international super hits followed by American Idiot, like, punk band by nature has to go against anybody who's president, but they have been kind of selective about it. They've always been anti-authority, but they ramp it up and they get specific when they really don't like the president. They didn't like George W. Bush. They stayed anti-authority, but they didn't really name names. And I don't know if they supported anybody. I don't know if they're political that way. For a punk band to be political and to be against authority, that's pretty normal. The amount of vitriol and the specific nature of it and the way they're doing it, I don't know. I don't know if Ronald Reagan got smoked this bad by the dead Kennedys. And Green Day is better than the dead Kennedys. I'm not gonna lie. I do like some of their stuff, but they've been pretty like Bad Bunny. On the other hand, no fucking talent. Yes, the Jets 4-Pete. Is that what you're talking about? I haven't seen Kelly Osbourne since the funeral. At the funeral, she was looking much healthier. It was obvious that she was losing weight, but it didn't look frightening. The Kelly Osbourne we're getting now looks frightening. Here she is. Let me even begin that for you. Kelly Osbourne, and I'm going to take down your comments just for a moment. That's not how we remember her. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Kelly Osbourne, she's not like we remember her. She's not looking so great. She's, at this point, still a little better than what we saw. I think this is a previous event, maybe a couple of months back. She has gone on losing it, and with the hair, she looked like a drag queen. She looked like a drag queen. It was absolutely one of the most shocking things I've seen in my life. And some people, Nerdrotic, I guess he always hated it, but like Nerdrotic and I have like somewhat different taste in music. I've seen him like rocking like the Motley Crue like leather MC jacket. Admiral Teag had a leather MC for a little while. I prefer other kinds of leather jackets because everyone has a leather MC. I gotta be a rebel. But I never really super dug Motley Crue. And there's a Motley Crue story if you want to get into it. We can talk about it later. If you have any interest, put it in the chat. But she looks so much rougher about a month and a half later, I think. And Jack looks fine. Jack looks fine. By the way, none of them look anything like Ozzy, right? None of them look anything like Ozzy. And with Kelly, we don't know anymore because she's had so much time. She's saying that like she's a woman of 40, she needs to get her face worked on. You can make it to 50 or so without having to have radical plastic surgery or even any plastic surgery. Look at, and then there's minor stuff, like it's not like she had the like one thing that women were doing like 30 years ago that was a little bit like minor stuff was getting the bags zapped off under their eyes like with like a laser so that they didn't look quite as old and it made them look a little younger. Like I had a couple of ex-girlfriends whose moms did that. Like, believe it or not, Long Island was like one of the plastic surgery capitals of America. What can I tell you? Yeah, Jack looks fine. Unfortunately for Jack, it looks like he's going to be dealing with maybe an intervention on his sister if she doesn't start eating or get off the Ozempic. Immediate health concerns from this non-expert Admiral Teag for Kelly Osbourne. I am absolutely worried about her. I think that she looked terrible. And by the time we got to the Grammys, which, Absolutely horrible. Just not looking great at all. Over there on the Bumble side, I don't see any activity. No one there. If you're coming through later, you know what? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment that's real and not one about how you've noticed I'm a great creator who can use explosive growth on Rumble, which is a lie straight from the pit of hell, by the way. Bumble, not the greatest. Let's see how our poll is doing. Trying to find it. I closed out the landscape streams. Oh, here we go. How many votes we got? 15 votes, approaching scientific viability. All right. Would you watch a video upload on Starfleet Academy from this channel? A lot, like a third of you won't watch it no matter what. Yes, video essays preferred. Yes, just talk to the cam avatar is doing better than that. And 27% are ambivalent. That's the issue with making video essays. They tank out everything else. They're a difficult problem. I want to make them. I want to make that statement. I'd like to do uploads a little more often. This is the deal. The divide is this. The European people I know, the British YouTubers that I hang out with, those guys, they are all mostly inspired by Critical Drinker. So they are much more, they will do, and we don't need to look at Kelly Osbourne looking terrible anymore. We got the point across. Maybe we even need to put the comments back over that. Ooh, yeah. Jack at least looks okay. You know, maybe we'll just get all the Osbournes off there. Jack at least looks okay, but I mean, Sharon getting up there and Amy looking like I said, like since there's like possibly, you know, maybe a history of erratic behavior in her family, there's cause for concern about Amy. The two people over on the landscape stream, I'm glad you're there. But if you go to the top of the landscape stream, you will see that there is a pin post that will bring you over. I'm sorry, if you're on the vertical stream, stay with the landscape stream. Don't leave the landscape stream. Friends, on the vertical stream, the one where you see me floating above Sydney Sweeney's shoulders, and it's just like a tiny little, it's like a sliver. You know, like you're looking at me through a keyhole. The one where my image is much more rectangular. If you're on that one, go to the top, hit the hyperlink, come on over to the landscape stream. We don't have commercials, and I have cookies. I don't want to subject you to commercials. However, YouTube wants me to do streams that have commercials. The answer is one stream a week, go Mars, let the vertical stream be commercials. But to get between me and my audience with a commercial is not something I like doing. I'll leave the Mars stream up once a week to keep YouTube happy. That's all I'm going to do. Keep them at bay. Yeah, the live streams are better. Here's the thing. We're Americans saying that, and this is predominantly an American channel. What we found out is the uploads that I made for Star Trek early on get about a third of the people who watch the channel to watch them. Those are the people who don't watch lives at all. So here we have the subdivisions of being a YouTuber, right? We've got people who only watch shorts. I don't do shorts. We have people who only watch live. I'm pretty good at the lives. I like going live. I like being a live streamer. I like talking to you guys. I like the parasocial interaction, and I like talking to you guys. Yes, we have cookies. Everyone likes the live streams, and it seems like this is an American thing. I don't know. Could it be that in Britain, talk radio didn't catch on, and there's a different feeder element here? Talk radio was the last thing that was left of terrestrial radio. It seems like it's an inherently engaging medium. Here, even more control for the listener. You guys can make comments. You guys in real time, we see how many people are watching. It's much more interactive than what we got with talk radio. And 3 people over on the vertical stream. Come to the landscape stream. There's a pin post on the top, and maybe I can drop it back in there again. But if you come to the landscape stream, there are no ads. There's the link again for anybody who may not be able to see it pinned to the top. Just come to the landscape stream. The vertical stream, it's there. It's good. It's for squares or rectangles in this case, right? Because, you know, everything's rectangular. Everything's rectangular. What can I tell you? I don't know what to tell you. All right. Starfleet Academy, a disaster. Amy Osborne looking terrible. You guys, amazing. What do you want to know? Sir, what can I tell you? What can I do for you? What can I do for you now, sir? You know what? We haven't had any media yet. Maybe it's time for a little bit of that. Get the mood going.
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here. Well, this match will not be postponed.
All right, point made. We can bring back beautiful Sydney Sweeney. You know what? Sometimes I feel inspired. And I do endorse the biopic of my last life as George Patton. And I would hope that when they make a biopic of this life, they remember that Admiral Teag was a warrior for Star Trek who never lost hope. Am I guaranteeing that Star Trek United will be great? No. It has the elements of what could be a great show, though. Most of us here really like Enterprise. The Enterprise writers coming back, that seems welcome because the Enterprise writers, as we've seen, they're really good with streaming type stuff. They do 3-episode arcs well. They know what they're doing with pacing. And we don't get a lot of poorly paced stories. What we get are individual episodes that are incongruous. And for that last season, the adults leave the room. It's like season 3 of TOS. Roddenberry's trying to develop like a Simon Earth into a show and other stuff like that. He's making his money elsewhere. He's taking his consulting fee, and he's not that deeply invested in Star Trek. Then he is again for a little while, like towards the end of the end, but not the way he had been. Never again like the way he was seasons 1 and 2. Ah, it's delicious. All right. So on Enterprise, what happens is Berman leaves the room. Brandon Braga, never really the big part of it anyway. They're out of there. Bragman leaves. Michael Pillar's not part of it. Ron B. Moore, he's already out there trying to cook up Battlestar Galactica, right? And so, you know, that's just the breaks. With that one, people start to leave, and there's no adult in the room. So it goes much better than could be expected. And the stories are now enormously bingeable. People don't realize that season 4 is really good. But the deal is this. People don't like season 2. People do not like season 2. The Xindi arc is a subject of some curiosity, but people approach it with a good deal of trepidation because it was so controversial. It was very controversial. Sir, was it controversial, sir? Do you think that maybe it was a little controversial?
Dare you?
I can ask whoever I
Sir,
want.
that was so controversial. Sir.
It was pretty controversial. The Xindi arc was controversial. It was tough in its time. Even though the episodes don't lean too heavily into it, aside from the first one, which is part of season 2, the end of season 2 into season 3. It really, it's called First Contact too, isn't it? It really is just the worst episodes to watch for my heart. And I don't mean like my cardio health. I mean, it's heartbreaking to think about 9/11 and the little reminders of it. And now that we're 25 years out, every month this year, it's going to get more and more intense. And I fear that we'll have as grim and sad a Christmas this year as 9/11. That was a sad Christmas. And, you know, when I watched the first episode of the Xindi arc, I could smell the fumes again. And I knew when you were smelling it, some of what you were smelling was your own friends who hadn't made it out of the building. It was very macabre. And it turned out ultimately not to be the right choice, even though it's a good story. It is a really good story. It was just people couldn't handle it. They weren't ready for it yet. Sorry, I'm just like coughing and wheezing. And I wanted you to see like how I'm working on this for you here for this new feature on the program, the Admiral Teag Draw Stream. As you can see, it's really progressed. the character's really starting to take on a life of its own. And I don't really make the drawings, right. I free the paper from its blankness, and as you can see, what I'm working on here is it's the Admiral Teag self-portrait. We've seen some of the other great Admiral Teag works of art, such as Hilter, other works of art like that. And as you can see, the Admiral Teag self-portrait coming along fairly well. Draw Admiral Teag. As you note, my nose, and my eyes. If you notice the eyes on this one, they're level, and they're correct. And also, the head is like proportionate. Now, if I add a body, I've already established a comic and cartoon like aesthetic here in the face. So the proportions being a little wrong and stuff like that, I can work them out to be funnier. Confidence is very important with the art form. Here's the deal. Admiral knows that he's only okay at art. So, what do? I don't try to draw photorealistic, and I know that I have to keep it to a preposterous artwork. If only everyone was so confident, right? But I'm going to keep working on that one. Maybe I'll post it on X. Something tells me that this might be my new calling. I find it really relaxing. Drawing, maybe the Admiral Teag draw stream is in the future. Right? Let's see. Most draw streams I've seen can't draw flies. With 16 votes, would you watch a video upload on Starfleet Academy from this channel? Only 37% yes. This is why the video essays tend to tank out. They take a long time to make. I wish they did better. The Starfleet United one did really well. That got 2,000 views in a day. Now, if I keep putting out the video essays, there will be people who only want to watch that. God knows Tachyon Pulse has his subscribers. Although the way things happen on some of these other channels, I would like to see it explained. How come? Is this and put your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious. Why is it that people with an interest in Star Trek who like Star Trek streams wouldn't want to watch an upload from that live streamer? Am I delusional? Do you have to start out as a video essayist and establish yourself as that? Because if live streaming is where it's at, I'll do it. But I do enjoy putting out the essays, and I thought that the Star Trek United one had a chance to be a game changer because it did well on its own, and it might do well on its own again. The problem is my community, no matter how much I beg you guys, you won't front load it with enough likes to get it going. Maybe now we can. There's another one coming out. And the other question is this. I have seen a lot of videos. JDA Talks does some good analysis. And the Tachyon Pulse, we all know the Tachyon Pulse. Good guy, friend of the channel. And we know that he has the courage of his convictions. The thing that we have with the Tachyon Pulse. And by the way, if you're on the vertical stream, go to the hyperlink on the top and transfer over to the landscape stream where there are no ads. I'm sorry, I saw the pictures of Kelly Osbourne, and now my mind is just back to how awful she just couldn't have looked. The pictures of her from, here she is on TikTok. Can you pause TikTok? All right. In still pictures, she looks considerably worse, but let's see. What's a good size where she's not too frightening? It's so lovely that his peers in this community that he loves so much. See, here's the thing. It makes sense to me, and she's really disturbing looking, and she looks a little whacked. I mean, I'm not an expert. Who is though? Hey, Sean! Wow. Is that trademarked? I'm 2 minutes late on this one. I apologize. Is that trademarked? Let me tell you something. Misuse of trademark is that is, you're not supposed to do it. It's very, very bad, very, very sad. And if you keep doing that year after year after year, I mean, you could face some serious repercussions. And also, people could steal your art. They could steal it. What would you do? So we could just, if you're giving it away for free, the only art that you should ever give away for free is art that you don't care if anyone steals. So the baseline for that would be, am I so good that I can produce another piece of art as good as the one I just made on a regular basis over and over again? Or do I just give this up and, paint walls and houses like Hilton? But if you are misrepresenting stuff as trademarked out there and it's not really trademarked, that is now a really easy thing to overcome and really easy thing to discover. So we've seen a few people out there, and what's funny is their trademarks are out of date. They're always out of date. The trademark like 2011 to 2019. And it's like, did you even YouTube that? And you see like the YouTube channel like 3 years old. It's like, my God, no, they didn't YouTube that. So it's like, they never even updated it. Being a minimalist seems to be the way a lot of this stuff goes. And as far as our stream, oh wow, I am really, really, wow, that is some pretty bad audio. I still have it set up the way I usually do. I don't know. Might be also the fact that I feel a little sick. Let's see what happens if I look at some of these options that I have for the audio. All right, let's see how I sound now. I'm curious if that changed anything. I'm just checking. Hold on. Let's see. How does it sound now, guys? A little better? A little warmer? You tell me. Looks like I'm not making any sound at all. Yeah, that is just as bad in a different way. We'll get back to this one later. You know what? Let's see if the echo cancellation doesn't help a little bit. Maybe that'll be a little less. I don't know. Oh, and you know what? I hit the automatically adjust mic volume thing instead. So maybe it'll be a little warmer and a little better. All right, there's my moment of being underwater coming and going. I'm just going to continue with the show. We don't have more than about 45 minutes left. And you know what? I've done my sound check on myself. Boy, it is so disorienting to try to keep a conversation when your own voice is coming back into your head about 20 seconds, about 5 seconds later. And like the nanosecond it takes to process whether or not your own voice sounds okay. My plan is to incorporate a lot. Live like a live bit and a couple of shorts, and then move back to live and essay in the middle. We've done that here, and it has been useful. It's video essays are a time sink. That's the deal. If I spend 12 hours making a video essay, I've got that down to 5 hours. Until that video gets to like 6 or 7 hours, like I don't feel like I broke even on my effort, of viewing. With Landman, there just is no audience for the video essays. We tried it all through 1923. I tried it all through Landman. Could it be just me? I don't think by the time I got to Landman, it was just me. And the last couple, It's a Wonderful Life, clawed its way to 1,000. And, that was just outright funny. I don't know why people passed on that. But hey, no one's obligated. Mr. House Party 6 is the ideal sub. He watches, he comments on the videos, he chats, he likes, and he watches the uploads. He exhibits all of the signs of a great YouTube sub. You're all fantastic, by the way. And, oh wow, the dead man. Hey, sir, doing a tremendous job. Thank you so much, sir. With a generous $9.99 United States super chat, says, I worked a job once where one of my coworkers started a comic and left his drawing behind. I added to the comic and left it for him. We kept adding to it every night, back and forth. That's really cool. Now, I don't know if the story became coherent, but I bet you there was some pretty cool art and some pretty cool collaborative art there. That is cool. That's fun. That's a fun thing. I mean, working at night? No, but although I gotta say I've had enough night jobs and I can't complain. Working at night is great if they pay you more money for it, right? Guys, we have multiple threats to the Star Trek community this week. Number one would seem to be Kurtzman Trek. He's back. He's back. It's like he's like a bad penny. I can't shake him. He's over my shoulder, and for the rest of this, get this thing out of here. Go away. Go away. Okay. Oh, thank you, God. Anyway, yeah, the Kurtzman Trek has been worse than ever. This is one of the worst weeks of Kurtzman Trek I've seen in my life. I don't know how we're going to get through it. And I would ask you guys, is the sound a little better yet? And by the way, thank you, Dead Man. You guys have been very generous tonight for a show where I sound like I'm coming through a coffee can on a string. I'm sorry about that. Always a chance at StreamYards, too. I don't know. Sean, opinion, is the audio improving a little bit? Coming and going, bro. Yeah, is it? That might be me moving my head around. If I find the sweet spot where I should be distanced from the mic, things seem to get a little better. What can I tell you? One of the things that was happening is this Blue Yeti is only so good as far as microphones go. Like, as far in the world of microphones, the Blue Yeti, yeah, like Logitech makes it, I think. It's a pretty good microphone. I've tried everything to get like really good sound. There's no reliable way. It comes and it goes. With the deck, we had great sound with the deck. I was happy with that one. They phased out the software 2 weeks after I bought it. Amazon gave me all the money back. Everyone sent it back. It now bears frequently returned item on it. The other ones, we're talking $500-600. I have the XLR capable mic. I'm ready to do it. I want to have a better sound. Another month like last, and I'll have it. When I have my channel mates with me, I don't think it's you turning your head around. It's just whining. It's just whining in and whining once in a while with a little static. Oh, you know what? Some of that might be, and you just saw me turn my head away, so you'll know. Some of that is when I move the microphone, it does static out, and it will like go mute on me once in a while, and I have to keep checking and going to Avatar to see like. The only real good indication I get on my volume is how big this ring pops. Everything else is arbitrary. We have another indicator on screen, but this is the only one that really ensures that you get it. This is the only read that I get that I've learned how to work with. So I'm loud enough. Whether I'm too loud, people can adjust the volume later. I apologize. There's no bass sound, and it sounds like it's a different microphone. Do you have one on your monitor? It sounds like that's what's on. It does. As I accidentally smash another glass and have an accidental Jewish wedding in my apartment. Let's do this together, shall we? All right. There are several icons on Admiral Teag's mic. This one is allegedly for cardiac. Let's see what happens if I change the setting. Sir, I don't know what I'm doing, sir. Can you hear me? How's that? Is that a little better? What do you think of that one? Oh, the Dead Man. This is turning into a decent sound check. The comic was called Leaf Man, and the villain was Rake Man, who blew up the towers. That was not my idea. We were boned, LOL. That is still funny. I mean, that's fun. And what are you going to do? I mean, that's hilarious, you know? Unplug it. All right. It's been unplugged and plugged back in. What do you think? Sean, what do you think? Still coffee canning? There's no bass. That setting, I don't know. What do you think? I'm super close to it. Let's see what happens now. I do know. Let's see. I got to go to Avatar too. Guys, thank you for hanging out for Admiral Teag's Soundcheck Star Trek show. No, it doesn't have one. This is the only mic my computer has. It's not my computer PC mic. I could have by mistake turned on the mic in my camera. No. All right. Let's see. How do I sound now? Did everything just change completely? Something tells me that now everything's okay, right? Is it all right? Yep. There we go. There we go. All right. It actually was my monitor. All right, Sean nailed it. I was shocked by that one. Well, guys, we'll be deleting not just the landscape stream from tonight's show. We'll be unlisting both of them, Doomcock style. What can I tell you? Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. That was some bad coffee can sound, and now I see the mic popping and doing things a lot better than it did before. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's a good thing I caught it. It only took me 2 hours. What can I tell you? Guys, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. You guys are totally cool about it. I think what I need to do is just take it on the chin and not reset, but I think you guys have at least earned one more story. Have you? What do you think? Let's see if I can find the story. All right, I found it. All right. Everyone kind of reacted well to the Teag origin story. So here's a little bit of video from the neighborhood I grew up in. Now, this is more than a week old, but if you were a fan of Star Trek Academy and you liked the grill that our black hologram chick wore on her teeth, if you thought that was cool fashion, this is the place where she bought all her clothes. Now, a lot of you guys don't know this, but I'm from a town in Queens. I was born in a town called Jamaica. Jamaica is the home of Donald Trump, 50 Cent, and what do you call it? Donald Trump, 50 Cent, Run DMC, Russell Simmons, LL Cool J, Biz Markie, just everybody. It's well known that Jamaica is just a great place. Rufus T. King, signer of the Declaration of the U.S. Constitution, framer of the U.S. Constitution, was there for the New York delegation, and it's just well known. So I'm just getting my next story ready. By the way, it came up, New Yorkers who support Ma'am Danny was Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal merely lived in New York for a while, okay? He's from, Colombia? He lived and grew up in Texas, and he went to school in New York, okay? And then he kept an apartment there. Big deal. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, I got it. I got my next story on deck, but I've got this one for you first. Here is Admiral's Lake hometown. Here we go.
A generation is closing its doors for good.
Now locals are remembering the after-school hangout that shaped the style and culture of Queens.
This mall had an effect on the entire nation.
Julian Embrack is packing up 32.
Let's let these ladies show us
Over the years,
what's going on. All right, so here's one of the guys. It's the Coliseum Mall in Jamaica, Queens. It was an indoor flea market. Now it's struggling. As you can see, a lot of it's closed down.
Before it was a struggling mall, the Coliseum was a landmark of hip-hop culture.
There's some familiar faces, right?
Immortalized in lyrics and music videos since the 1980s.
There's Run DMC.
80s.
I went to Jamaica High School, so
this thank was God I didn't have to go there.
When high school let out.
Came here to get gold teeth. Came here to get.
See? What did he say?
So this was the place when high school let out.
Came here to get gold teeth. Came here to get jewelry. It also taught you how to be tough and for your future life because you had to really come here and pay attention.
One day.
So in other words, you go to this mall and your life is in jeopardy. And believe me, you look at the wrong person the wrong way in Jamaica, your life is in jeopardy.
Bismarcky, who's huge to the hip hop culture, he walked in his pajamas.
All right, that's pretty funny.
I get kind of really emotional because it's really gonna be gone.
Owners say
Look how beat to fuck it is.
the Coliseum started as an indoor flea market in 1984 and evolved into.
Look at this guy's got the autograph of all the hip hop people he got in there. I remember once, I think, was it the Coliseum Mall I was at, and Shanice was playing just at the mall. Remember, like Shanice, she was like a rhythm and blues singer from the like when hip hop style music was just everywhere. But as you look at this collection of jewelry, junk, all this jewelry, under $5 each, $10 for the necklaces. Like, we're talking cheap fucking stuff here. And I have some of this stuff because it's hilarious. Does Admiral Teag have like a fucking diamond, like a fake gold, fake diamond encrusted, super large New York Yankee logo? Yes, I do. And it's a gold chain, a fake gold chain.
I've been here 40 years.
Really?
This is,
Look at all the fake Rolexes.
this is part of my life. Was it? 40. Yeah. 40 years. This was a piece I made for 50 cents. Original piece.
Something tells me you paid a little more than 50. He paid a little more than 50 cents for it. So this guy actually makes like the jewelry and he can design it for you. So he made the 50 cent. Like, we've seen that medallion on 50. You know what? I want one. I got to find where this guy relocated to.
Since we reopened from the COVID, every month has been in the red.
Manager Thomas Logan told us by phone foot traffic disappeared with the bus terminal across the street.
If you notice, he's like everyone else, like in New York. They don't call it COVID. They call it the COVID. It's the New York thing. So there's the mall now. What a shame.
The mall property is now on the market.
But I'm sick about this. I'm saddened about it. The Coliseum is royalty.
Tom.
That's, yeah, it was. This is where you went to get your crazy black clothes.
Gretsch with the Queens Chamber of Commerce hopes whatever comes next keeps some retail.
To let some of those smaller vendors have a place and a home in there. So there used to be.
You know what? That's very true. The small businessman in New York City, you got to go to the outer boroughs. Where do these poor guys go? Out in the streets to sell this stuff? They have been indoors for 40 years. This sucks.
Barbershop down here. That's where I learned how to play chess.
With his community's help, Taiwan Green, aka Mr. Fingers, is organizing a farewell block party where guests
I will not be at the block party.
can pose like they did as teens.
You had to come from all over to get a
All right, I would have liked to have gotten my picture taken in front of that wall again.
shot right there in front of those famous backdrops. Yeah.
What do you want people to walk away with from the event?
We make it big and make it great. And then, at least we have something to remember.
This is history,
All right.
and history must go on.
My customers here, they're pouring in with support.
All right, so as you can see, beloved landmark closing here in Jamaica, Queens.
Comes next is uncertain for Julian Embrach, but he's leaving with a full heart.
The Coliseum Mall, it would live on in
I would hope you have enough now to retire, please.
our memory.
In Queens, Elle McLogan, CBS News, New York.
A shopping mall in Queens.
All right, so there you go. Now you see one of the places from my childhood. I hope you found it entertaining. It was kind of fun, right? Ooh, no, that's not a good place. Ooh, yeah, that's better. Hey, guys, let me read your chats. Let me take a look down there. Is that where the Betazoid girl got her grill? Yeah, she's a hologram. Yes. This was the place I was talking about when I said I grew up not far from Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica. Not long after I was born, things went well for my father. And, he was, became a detective. We moved out of Jamaica. We didn't have to stay there. I didn't have to go to school there. And I thank God because I would have been eaten alive.
that be said, like some of my best friends are graduates of Jamaica High School. And what's funny is my buddy just like squared away like a real nice house on Long Island. It's beautiful. He's got everything. And he's just like, we're sitting there by his saltwater pool. And he's like, I'm still one of like the bottom 10% in cash of people who are still alive from the graduating class of like 1985 from Jamaica High School. And I had to laugh because it's true. The city I grew up playing in is overrun by homeless tents now. Even these baseball fields, kids can't even play ball anymore. You know what? That brings us to our next story. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there. Since I'm from New York and I've made that part of my identity, and even though I don't do news, I don't consider this guy a politician that qualifies for my no politics rule. I just like him. And I dislike his policies. The man's name is Zoran Mandami. I would like to give you a list of prominent New Yorkers who have denounced Mr. Mandami. Number one. Now, I was talking to Wes Cagle about this one today. And this will surprise a few people because it doesn't track with what we knew. It doesn't track with what we thought she knew. First of all, I'll show you the picture so that you can enjoy it with me. She still looks fantastic. Remember Deborah Messing? All right, so Deborah Messing, she's not that woke, it turns out. These accusations that she's woke, she said sitting in a taxi trying to get an appointment should take 20 minutes. We're here an hour and 10 minutes and counting. The streets are a disaster and it hasn't snowed in 5 days. And the streets still haven't been cleared. Poor ambulance sitting in essentially a parking lot where sirens are going. I'm praying for the person needing emergency care. I've lived here for 15 years this go-round, and this has never, ever happened. The plows have always worked around the clock to get the city back and working. I wonder what happened, smirk. Hang in there, New Yorkers. Well, I know what she thinks happened, and by the way, here she is. Deborah Messing. She looks like she's still looks pretty good. The glasses, just like mine, not too flattering, but you know what? She's got the woke reputation because she took a show where it was kind of aimed at like people who are gay, right? The show was for gay people. It just openly was for everybody, but the characters were gay, so they had that going for them as far as they're unique in, right? Okay, everybody remembers. All right, so get this. Deborah Messing has said she is one of his, actually, people said the comment was you get what you vote for. Deborah Messing hates Zoran Mamdani. A newsflash, guys, did you know that Deborah Messing is currently on the canceled list from high school? She's on the canceled list in Hollywood. She pulled a reverse Rachel Ziegler. She's on the other side of that conflict that Rachel Ziegler's on. Let's just say the reasons that she hates Zoran Mamdani have 4,000 years of history. Okay. Put it to you like that. Okay. So Will and Grace actress, one of the most vocal critics, she backed the Trump endorsed candidate during the race, shared memes and called Mamdani a communist jihadist. Osama bin Mamdani reposted Trump attacks and has continued slamming him through 2026, blaming him for dangerous gridlock and snow pileups after a winter storm, calling New York City a mess under his leadership. I don't think Mamdani's going to finish his term. I don't know if there's a recall thing, but I think there is an impeachment thing, and there's something called being arrested. I call on the president to rewatch your 7/1/25 press conference where you said you would arrest Mamdani and did not hesitate on that, and then yelled at the reporter for questioning the idea that you would. Sir, please, can you just, for me? But anyway, Michael Rappaport, like half the time, he's Dick Ritchie from True Romance. And he's in a few other movies. He's on a lot of TV. He shows up and he acts really annoying a lot of the times. He had a good rap. People liked him. And then he started mouthing off on social media. People didn't like him. It turns out he merely speaks his mind and doesn't fucking care what people think. If he is a Democrat, he got left behind by the Mamdani wing too. And I think everyone's getting a brutal education in this one. Michael Rappaport has called Mamdani a fraud class and has been outspoken on social media against him, sharing and getting noted for misleading content related to the Epstein file rumors. Yeah, listen, there is a connection between Epstein and Mamdani's mother, but the pictures are wrong, the captions are incorrect, and some of them have been fake and ground together. The one I saw, some of these are coming from like India and other places where they're just looking to make money. The kind of place where they swat your cell phone out of your hand so they can strip the precious metals out of it to get the $6 because that'll feed them for a month in some of these shithole countries. Okay? Michael Rappaport has been shading on him. Trump, we know. John Voight actually says he hates him too. Dave Portnoy, well, I guess the exact quote from John Voight is, publicly stated Mamdani has no right dictating the rules of socialism for NYC. John, we agree. Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports founder and influencer, hates the guy, he says, called him a communist with no real job experience, hates America, and even considered moving Barstool out of New York City because of him. People are going to decide to wait him out. Alex Stein, comedian, criticized Mamdani's push to raise taxes on the rich and companies to address the fiscal crisis, accusing him of taxing everyone to death. Others, like Jackie Goldstein, Real Housewives of New Jersey, I don't care. Mark Ruffalo supports him. What a surprise. Cynthia Nixon supports him. She ran against Cuomo for governor. Of course she supports him. Lupita Nyong'o is from New York. Since when? Called it an honor to vote for him. Fuck you. Emily Ratajkowski, model, actress, hot girls for Zoran shirts, and endorsed him. Musicians like Lorde, Gracie Adams, Halsey, Clara. Oh, by the way, number one is Pedro Pascal. Does not live in New York. Rami Youssef, who impersonated him on SNL, and Chelsea Handler. Who cares? Chelsea Handler was like, when was the last time she New York? She's back here now? Voight has been a right winger for a while, so that's not a surprise. Yeah. I gotta be honest. If I saw Angelina Jolie getting like Kelly Osbourne thin and like chasing off Brad Pitt, calling him a violent pot smoker, that sounds fabricated to me. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I mean, violent pothead. I like if he's smoking pot all day. Like I would like. Wouldn't the next term be disengaged? Does Angelina Jolie know anything about drugs other than maybe speed and dieting? What a weirdo. I remember seeing her in a Rolling Stones video when she was like literally 16 years old. Love is Strong is the video. So at any rate, 50 Cent said, called him a disappointment, R.I.P. NYC, and NYC is finished, largely tied to fears over Mamdani's tax plans on the wealthy and businesses. Go 50 Cent. By the way, Deborah Messing is canceled in Hollywood for the same line. Here's the deal. Deborah Messing, she's Jewish. Mamdani, here's the weird thing. Mamdani, I don't know how to explain this one. All the people of the area that we call Palestine on ancient maps, that's called Israel now, that is, all those people are genetically the same. It's exactly like Kosovo. Okay? That's why infiltration and getting from one side to the other, it's easy. They look alike. You can tell. Most of them. Especially the ones who are like always from there. And you know, Deborah Messing, she looks like she only has like one cat, so you know, we'll leave it we'll leave it at that. She still looks kind of cute. We'll see the rest of her comments in a moment. All right. Deborah Messing has been, by the way, that was the thing. I remembered she was like super outspoken on this one. Sydney, I got to get over here. Where are those chats? All right, so listen to this one. Deborah Messing has been one of the most vocal and persistent celebrity critics of Zoran Mamdani, both during his 2025 mayoral campaign and in early months of his administration as of February 2026. Her comments sparked significant backlash, often accused her of being Islamophobic, inflammatory, or bigoted, while she frames them as concerns about his policies, experience, and views on Israel, Palestine, and governance. Look, this guy has some really strong fucking views, and a lot of people just don't dig him. Right now, what happens is the city is snowed in. We've got this problem, and this is like 10 days later. This seems to me like either he doesn't know what he's doing or the city unions just absolutely are taking him to the cleaners. We saw some just absolutely terrible video of work crews just sitting around looking like they were doing nothing. There needs to be some kind of removal of the snow. That I in the Bronx yesterday, I couldn't get around. That was 9 days later. The temperature is not going above freezing for another 9 days. Okay, so here we go. During the 2025 campaign and election, October to November 2025, Messing strongly supported the quote that Andrew Cuomo was the, believe it or not, Trump-backed candidate over Mamdani, and used social media, primarily Instagram stories and X, to attack him aggressively. Aggressive is the word. That was me. I hit my microphone. So Deborah Messing, at the tip of the spear here, she reposted multiple memes and videos labeling Mamdani in extreme terms, including calling him communist jihadist, an actual communist jihadist. There's someone you need to meet. Encouraging votes against him with slogans like "Vote No to Terrorism." Framing the election as a choice between a Democrat and an actual communist jihadist, a literal Karl Marx quoting America-hating jihadist. So Deborah Messing has nothing to feel bad about in what she did as far as her freedom of speech. Others were equally vocal for Mamdani. And I just found out Lupita Luongo is from New York. By the way, it was said that Lupita Luongo is kind of attractive. This is true. When we see her in charge of her own image, she has hair, she has normal clothing, and she looks okay. She is not to die for. She is just simply not horribly ugly. You know what it is when I move the microphone around, sometimes it just mutes itself. It's one of the pleasures of YouTubing. You'll find out all about it. In early February, she trashed him. We saw that. She tied this. By the way, there was a fire like near where I used to live over in another part of Queens, and I showed it to my friends. The whole place burned down. The fire department couldn't get to it. Like, they were doing their best. They had to drag these hoses like all the way down a city block to go up like 2 stories to fight this fire. The entire street was snowed over. The trucks were just like trying, and these fire trucks couldn't get there. I mean, they couldn't do it. Sorry, I can't do it. They couldn't do it, and like the building looked like it was. They saved most of it, but that didn't have to be as bad as it was. She blames him for poor emergency care. Oh wow, Mr. House Party 6. Mr. House Party 6, we got to talk on X so that you can be co-host or hang out with me for one of the member streams. We got to do one. You made so many people members. I was hoping you'd be at the other one, but you know what? You have an absolute invite. Reach out to me, and we will have you on here. Kapwa mofo with a $10 United States super chat. Or do you prefer when I call them Greenlandian greenbacks? It's a little bit aggressive to our non-American audience, but we're gonna ride or die as Americans here, and I'm gonna make that Star Trek video anyway. Have some pity on me and try to help me get an audience for it. I'm tired of. I'll do it again, but I got it when I make a video. It's like everybody else. It's like I'm the only woman in the women's weight wrestling division. It's like everyone else is like, whoa. It's like no problem. It's like. And then it's like, all right, Admiral Teag, it's your turn to make your video essay. It's as good as everyone else's. Can you do it? I just can't do it, sir. It just doesn't work. I try. Maybe I need to spend a little more time on the charger. Thank you, Mr. House Party 6. Please talk to me about when we can get you to hang with us. Or if that's not your thing, tell us what you want as the subject of the next member stream. You can pick the format. You did a great job. You made so many of these people members, and I wanted to thank you personally. I'm glad to see you, sir. What's funny is Sean Carter 7188. 718 is the Queen's area code. I have a tattoo of it. Not in the same place the $sign tattoo is. All right. New Yorkers are incredibly resilient. Damn Yankees. Yeah, I mean, the problem is this. It looks like they may have broken our election system in New York City. I think that tiered choice ballots should be illegal in the United States. I think it's one man, one vote, and one vote for one person. Okay? One person, one vote for one person. I don't want to vote for three people. I don't want to say like, oh, well, I want this guy, but if he loses, I'll vote for this guy. I voted for two other people in the first two in this election. I never voted for this guy. Maybe he can pull it together and run the city and not get us all, keep us all buried in ice. But this kind of performance this early on, look for it to be a long 4 years for Mamdani. Really, just a long 4 years. I am stunning and brave. Thank you. You know what? Also, I'm not afraid to tell it like it is when it comes to New York. Okay. When it comes to New York City, I will break the no politics rule just a little bit because I live here, and I'll give you guys some firsthand perspective. First of all, to the rescue of Deborah Messing. Hey, Grace, your friend Will's not going to take care of you. You know what? Like, you still look good. Come on. You know what? Actually, she's still stuck in that car. Let me just call the Uber dog sled service so I can go meet Deborah after the show. I think if I bring a bottle of fucking white wine and like an ounce of weed, things might happen to keep that cab a little warmer. She looks great still. Can we dump on Billie Eilish before we get out of here? Yes. Yes, we can. All right, here we go. I actually am, aside from being Hispanic or Latino, take your pick. I answer to both. I'm also, I'm Irish. I'm Italian. I'm a 7th generation New Yorker. Like, I've got it all. Teag Sparrow's got it all, guys. Got it all. Got it all. You name. What was funny was when my 23andMe came back, my mom was like, oh, wow, like it was like several of the top things were like things that were already in like the family that adopted me. So it was like pleasing my mom, and like my dad was no longer around. She's like, oh, wow, you're Irish. She loved that, because my dad's like red-haired guy, totally Irish, NYPD, as Irish as could be, and then she just kind of looks, and I was like, what's wrong, Mom? She's like, well, you're Italian. Oh, but you're Jewish. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because what happened was when I got my 23andMe, I didn't want to find out first. So I had my mom look at the results and read them to me so that she would know first, like in real life. And it was really cool and wonderful experience. My mom is the best. She got fucking robbed today. I'm not too happy about that, but she didn't get hurt. Got a lot of stuff to take care of with her tomorrow. She is not over it. Bunch of money, pocketbook, really uncool. She was not within the boundaries of New York City when it happened, though, so we can't blame Mamdani. Fuck you, whoever did it, though, you piece of shit. You better not ever let me catch you. Yeah, yes, we can. All right, Billie Eilish. I can't name any songs. Hit Me Baby Hard and Soft seems to be the name of the album. I only know that because she advertises heavily on X. It never goes away. She walked up dressed like an asshole. Like an asshole. I've never seen this. I would say she may have bailed out Sam the Hologram's premiere outfit with the stuff she wore. What was it, like 4 belts? 4 men's dress belts, 2 around her waist and 1 over either shoulder. None of them buckled. Just looking like a fucking weirdo. Now, I get it. She's a pop star. She has to dress like a lunatic. Heidi Klum looked like a lunatic. She wore like a hard plastic McDonald's tray fabric dress that was just shaped to her body. look at some of the outfits people wore to the Tonys. Also, the young blood part of the Ozzy tribute will bring a tear to your eye. He doesn't do Crazy Train that great. No one can. Ozzy, a unique vocalist. But you know what? While maybe not a great vocalist, in the Ozzy fashion, he captured the raw emotion of it. I enjoyed it. And when he sang Changes, I started to cry, and I had cried all through the end of the Ozzy tribute. And it was nice to see the guys from Guns N' Roses playing the music, because they finally had a singer who had a voice left. Unfortunately, the first singer was Post Malone. Now, as you guys may know, Post Malone, I don't have a problem with him, but I think he sold out. I was into pre-Malone, okay? When he was just Malone. Now, this whole Post Malone phase, the things that I liked about Malone, they're no longer there. Like his untattooed face. You know what? I'm just going to have to deal with my OCD and the fact that the Yankee hat's going to look crooked. You know what? Like his tattooed face, it's fucking weird. But you know what? Post Malone, he did his best, but he couldn't sing like Ozzy, and he should have turned it down. I don't know if he knew what he was getting into when he said yes. Although Steven Tyler, who also has nothing left, did a much better job at the Ozzy stuff. He had help from Youngblood, though. Youngblood, it was nice to see that Youngblood got to be the singer for Duff and Slash with Chad from the Chili Peppers and some guy named like Andrew Wyatt Earp. I don't know who Andrew Wyatt is. If you know what band he's from, tell me. Good Charlotte? I'm going to guess Good Charlotte. Good Charlotte's getting a lot of publicity because her husband is married. I'm sorry. Their singer is husband to Bag of Bones, Kelly Osbourne. Kelly, please eat. We don't need another tragedy. I've known you all of your entire life. I've known who you are all of your life. I've had a t-shirt with your fucking picture on it. I had the Ozzy Osbourne No More Tears picture, t-shirt with you, with your picture on it. I had the Black Sabbath Born Again picture of your sister, Amy, covered in afterbirth with devil horns when the guys from Black Sabbath said, hey, look, our old bandmate Ozzy sent us a picture of your granddaughter. This is the truth. The Black Sabbath manager is the father of the Ozzy manager. He fired Ozzy, and his daughter said, I can revive his career. So Don Arden is the father of Sharon Arden, who became Sharon Osbourne. He was already really, really powerful. He fucking hated Ozzy, and also he was stealing all the guys from Black Sabbath's money, so now they hate him too. And what happened was they showed him the picture. They went to his house to celebrate, like, whatever, like the inking of a new deal. And behind them on the bar was a picture of Amy Osbourne, and like she was like freshly born. It was like in vogue at the time. I think the deal was like the baby wasn't washed off, so she looked really like rough. The baby looked rough, and like if you've seen the Born Again album cover, like only one eye's open, and the baby looks like evil as fuck, and it's like its fingers or hands are up in like a weird way, and it's like she's just taking like her first few gasps of life, and they took a photo of her and they gave it to her grandfather. And so the Sabbath guy's like, oh, mate, congratulations on your granddaughter. He's like, fuck her, she's Ozzy's kid. My daughter's an asshole for having a kid with Ozzy. I can't stand Ozzy, I hate him. And they're like, well, we threw him out of the band, mate, and like even we don't hate him, kind of hard to hate Ozzy. And Dio's like, yeah, I don't even really hate him, and he was just like, you know what, take this and do whatever you want with it. You know what, fuck you. Get out of my basement bar. And when the Black Sabbath album came out, their manager had taken the picture of his granddaughter and photoshopped it into the devil on the Born Again album cover. And the Sabbath guys were like, fair enough, funny enough. And Ozzy was like, well, I think it's rather funny. So whatever. That's how much Sharon Osbourne's father hated him. There are two Ozzy books. One's called I Am Ozzy. The movie version of it is called God Bless Ozzy Osbourne. It's exactly almost the same. And the first one is called Diary of a Madman. I guess the one thing I would share with you is in the book, the story about the death of Randy Rhoads involves the idea that Ozzy Osbourne was on tour and the tour bus driver was a weirdo and they didn't know it. He was slowly going insane from the strain of driving the tour bus around and working all these days and spending all these hours on the road. So it was making him nuts, and he didn't want to do it anymore. So he backs off, backs down, and the next thing we know, he takes them on an unnecessary jaunt, and they were just like out of it. They didn't care. They think about the Aussie tour bus, like, all right. And so he takes them somewhere in Pennsylvania, I think it is, where he owned a private plane. And he's like, oh, yeah, come up in the plane with me, Ozzy. And I was like, oh, I'm rather high. I'm just going to lay around and sleep off me hangover. I've been in planes before. And he took up Randy Rhoads and the woman who made the costumes for Ozzy. And in the book, Diary of a Madman, and I believe it's in the book, I Am Ozzy too, the truth of the matter is, the plane came at the tour bus. The Ozzy says that he thinks that the bus driver was trying to kill all of them. And what happened was the plane came in, it turned like this, and the wing sheared through the tour bus, feet in front of Ozzy, and just a few feet back from like Rudy Sarzo or whoever was, I think it was Rudy Sarzo. And it's just like cuts the tour bus in half, cartwheels, in the words of Ozzy, wing over wing into a barn, and just fucking blows up and blows back. And like with all the debris coming down, him and Sharon are like lying on this bed with this torn apart tour bus, just like basically in an empty field in the debris of their bus, as the barn and like all the like burning debris start falling down. It's like, holy fuck, me friends are in there. What the hell happened? And, you know, the investigation proved malice, I believe. But Ozzy Osbourne led a fascinating life, and he had a great final show. It was really something. We wish his daughter the best. We're going to miss the Coliseum Mall. It was fucking great. And you know what? Unfortunately, unlist this show because, hey, it was just so raspy and bad. And thank you for Sean was right. I'm going to listen to you first from now on. What can I tell you guys? You win some, you lose some. You guys have been the best. Saving Star Trek, you know, I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. You've been amazing. I don't care about the analytic anymore. What do you want to know? You tell me. Deborah Messing has refused to apologize. Her other criticisms are foreign policy is identity-based politics. Heavy focus on Madame Dami's background, support for a country that's not America, that's within another country that's an ally of America, and perceived anti-Semitism or extremism. I don't know. Is he an anti-Semite or is he a self-hating Semite, right? Because it's the Semitic language united them all. It was a Semitic land, Semitic region. The ethnicity is known as Semitic, and the proper technical term for until they invented Islamophobia. If you are mean to anyone from the Israel-Palestine area and even some Jordanians, you're being anti-Semitic by definition. Isn't that some strange stuff? But it's true. The same language is used to identify hate speech against both. Now, the word Islamophobia came up later. I don't think it's a great word. It implies that this is unnatural or that people aren't entitled to their feelings on this one. I can tell you that as a person who watched. All right, let me put this another way. We all know where I live. We all know what I was in view of on September, not the 10th, not the 12th of not 2000 and not 2002. But we all know what I saw. I didn't see it particularly up close. I lost friends. I lost friends later to the lingering effects of the fumes. So let's just say the Admiral knows what these motherfuckers are capable of, all right? And I don't fucking like them. And like a lot of New Yorkers my age, hey Daniel, it's good to see you, my man. It's good to see you. Is Denzel and Stallone making a no woke studio? That's weird. Because not with Stallone, but with Denzel, while I believe he can deliver great pictures that aren't woke, his complaining that his making out with a man scene from Gladiator 2 was cut with the lady doth protest too much. You know what can I tell you? The lady doth protest too much. And that's just like, you know what? Just shut the fuck up with that one. And go on with your good image and have some fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, just drop it, make the good movie and try to do a better job. You know, but with your PR, thank God, you know, we still got Denzel for a couple more movies. He says he's getting ready to retire. But who knows? I'm sorry, guys. Just like when I do these draw streams, I start to draw and I get so distracted, you know, because what can I tell you guys? You know, some people can't draw flies. I draw people. I draw people. Sometimes. Look, like here's another one. Another Admiral Teag original. Let me see if you guys can see it. There you go. It looks like a rugrat, like got his hands on his parents' meth, right? What are you gonna do? At any rate, good to see Daniel. Jason, love Admiral Teag. What's it like living under Mamdani? Well, let's do this the best way we can. Let's do the small part first. I think he's a dick. All right? I think he's a dick. If he proves himself as mayor and does the things that he says he's going to do, well, I'm still not going to vote for him next time. He's mayor for 3 weeks and we find out we've been broke. That was convenient. So now we need some kind of really draconian mindset where how do you have a workers' paradise where no one can go to fucking work? You know what? I shared this picture earlier in the stream. I'm willing to share it again. I'll tell you about life under Mandami. He has not been able to execute on cleaning up the streets. He has not been visible, apologizing for the lack of progress. The only thing I can say in his favor is that it seems as though he has not gaslighted us on this one. But it also seems like he just doesn't care and thinks that he can spin it without using the gaslighting method, still spin this into some kind of weird fucking win. And I don't know why. I don't know why he thinks that people are this gullible. Also, you know, all of you out there will be a knock-on effect on the national economy. You can't just turn off New York City for 10 fucking days. People are skidding out in the ice. People have died. There's a code blue, but now his new method with the police is that they don't want to take away your right to stay outside in 9-degree weather. So there's been some talk about the warmth of collectivism. I got a picture of the warmth of collectivism right here. All right. I saw this the other day in the Bronx. This is basically Zoran Mamdami's policies in one image. In one image, this is Zoran Mamdami's policies. They are absolutely the worst. I don't know what he's going to be up to next. I don't think he's going to try stuff that's super insane right away. And I do think that if he messes up the national economy, people will start to dislike him. I've never seen this before. I was in the Bronx. And to give you an idea how bad it was, this is the size of the rat. I was standing, like I said, most New York thing ever. I had a meeting. After the meeting, I was walking in the subway. I'm in the Bronx. I hate the fucking Bronx. It's always freezing fucking cold up there, or hotter than the rest of the city. I don't know why. With the trees are the wrong height. I don't like the Bronx. But I go up there and I get, like, as I'm walking to the subway, it's fucking freezing. And the phone rings. And it's my shrink. And he's really hard to get an appointment with, and he's really hard to get. I've got to get my meds renewed and all that other stuff. I need meds to get some sleep. and every once in a while, some anti-crazy medication, not bad stuff, right? So this happens. I'm talking to my doctor, everything's okay. Yeah, sir, hello, doctor, sir, Teag, sir. Oh, doctor, sir. Okay, well, you'll give your credit card number to my fucking assistant. At which point I looked around and made sure there was no one near me because I was in the fucking Bronx. And I said, don't you have it on file? And he goes, let me ask her, man. Because my doctor, he's Latino too. And he's like, Chad, we got your card. So like, do me a favor. Just, you got it, run it. He's like, no problem. And then as I'm getting ready to walk into the subway, the wind blows some garbage away. And I see this fucking thing. And I'm like, that's a lot of shit. That's a huge pile of shit. But then I realized it was a buffalo-sized goddamn rat. Look at it. That tail is the size of my pinky. So this image is basically summarizes life under Mamdani. Not meant to represent him in any way. I'm sure that if he was anything but mayor, he'd be all right. But I don't want him running my town. And with a start like this, I don't see it lasting. There are too many people of the classic liberal vibe who hate him. I want to explain something. Please understand this before you. Please do not wish collective group punishment on all of us because, first of all, everybody, the second biggest vote getter was the Trump-backed candidate. Okay. 2, all the traditional Democrats are absolutely inflamed over this, and he has his own little niche pocket, and you saw it. Deborah Messing, she supported Hillary Clinton. She thinks this guy's a dick. She was the most vocal and loud person. It's not her fault that she's stuck in that cab, and she didn't get what she voted for. She worked really hard to keep him out of office, and she got destroyed by the rest of Hollywood. Deborah Messing is doing theater from now on. She's stuck on Broadway. Maybe she can get cast in a New York show, but I doubt it. I think that Hollywood is pissed at her, and Rachel Ziegler probably has more prospects, which sucks because we've seen Deborah Messing's work, and we know that she's funny, and she was beautiful for a long time. I got to get rid of this picture of the rat. It's just goddamn disgusting. Yeah, Mamdani, I'm not crazy about it. I was hoping for another outcome. Then we were promised that he would be arrested. Then he somehow charmed Trump for 5 minutes. And now maybe Trump is getting a little sick of him. I do believe that he hates certain people for the way they were born. I do believe it. I do not like the way he talks. I do not like his rhetoric. And I don't think that the thing he wanted internationalized should have been internationalized. I think he's a dick. And here it is once again, our top story. 12 years ago on this day, New York City Mayor Warren Wilhelm, a.k.a. Bill de Blasio, dropped Staten Island Chuck, sending the animal into free fall. Chuck died 7 days later at the Staten Island Zoo. Zoo officials covered it up. His death was not announced until 7 months later when he was replaced by his granddaughter, Staten Island Charlotte. This horrible loss, this was like dropping, look at this. It's a free fall. This is like dropping 100 feet for poor Chuck. Look at this. Look at that. So as we sign off, I say, on this day in 1918, born in this nation was my grandma. Grandma, if you're listening, I love you, and I've kept up the family tradition of being pretty plain spoken. Grandma had some words. She had the best words. Anyway, here it is. Bill de Blasio killing beloved New York City mascot. He took poor Staten Island Chuck, and he red rubbed him. He just red rubbed him. What was the matter? He said, I can't do it, son. I can't hold on to the groundhog. Happy birthday, Grandma. To our veterans and soldiers, I remember your struggle during the Tet Offensive. In memory of my father, I salute all of you and everybody. Hey, we had a normal length show with a good sound, Maybe I'll just cut it when I fix my microphone. I'll figure that one out later. We love you all. You've got to see her through most of the show. I'll just say once again, remember Staten Island Chuck. Staten Island Chuck. I mean, I know it's the most boring. Right? How come we've never seen the Ninja Turtles in the snow? That movie didn't make sense. Those were bad Ninja Turtles the last time around. The Dead Man with another generous $4.99 super chat. I'm to decide what is a dumber line. I think I swallowed my comm badge, or no one is illegal on stolen land. Did anyone see that the tribe that owned the area where her mansion was built issued a statement saying that they're waiting for her to contact them to take possession of it? Expert trolling, sirs. Those guys are true guardians of their homeland. And if you've listened to this station, you know exactly what I mean. But you know what? Hats off to the Guardians for telling Billie Eilish what's up. Billie Eilish, whether you're right or not, I leave it up to other people to have their own opinions. I disagree. I will also say those treaties were not as good as the paper we printed on. Do both sides do terrible things in a war? That war lasted like 125, actually like 325 years, right? From the point the Spanish get here until the 19th century, 14th century, 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, 18th century, 19th century. There's a couple of battles in the 20th century. This is the first time we've had peace. This is the first century with no conflict between the Guardians and the Europeans who came over. And we're all Americans now. Look at the movie Flags of Our Fathers. Look at Ira Hayes. On February the 19th, we will celebrate the birthday of Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath and the landing and beginning of the Battle of Iwo Jima. One of the most glorious days in the history of the United States Marine Corps, where they paid for that real estate with blood. And a terrible and horrible battle. But I got to say, that is one place I would love to go before I die. I'd love to go to Iwo Jima before I die and see that. Man. Or maybe the battlefields in the Philippines might be more appropriate. Earlier, and by the way, thank you so much, Dead Man. And Sentai Donnie. Hello, Donnie. Yes, earlier this morning, the market, they marked a quarter of a century since Power Rangers Time Force debuted on For Kids Time Force. Time for Time Force. Someone is saying, I saw them being accused of running with other people's ideas for the first few seasons of their show before they invented the Power Rangers uniform. So apparently more history there than I knew. It's been very successful for a very long time. God, everyone's getting fired up for Sydney. All right. Yeah. Hoorah. Exactly. If you guys were in the Marines, I loved Full Metal Jacket. And when I told my father I love that movie, he was in the Army and was in some of the same engagement, in the movie. He said, I respect the Marine Corps and how they were able to do all the things they did with 4 cameramen accompanying every soldier, every Marine. 4 cameramen per every rifleman for the Marine Corps. He was Army, right? So he hated them. And, I hold this dog tag in my hand, and if this thing could talk, he didn't tell me what happened over there. I'm just glad he made it through the whole thing without having to respawn. He had to spiritually respawn when he got home. But the Ninja Turtles final story of the night, if you heard this one, the Ellisons own Paramount. The Ellisons have Star Trek. There's nothing we can do about it, but there is some room for hope. Some person named, I believe the name is Nair Nato. Okay. Nair Nato. Nadal, something like that. They're in charge of the Ninja Turtles for, and I think we've seen this tragedy long enough. They're in charge of the Ninja Turtles for Paramount while they had the rotating CEOs. No one wanted to be directly responsible for what could have been a collapse. The rotating CEOs, by the way, did a great fucking job. Now, the Ninja Turtle brand had a Jonah Hill Ninja Turtle movie, and the woman also did something else that worked out. So when she met Ellison, everybody has a little bit of love for the Turtles, right? So when she met Ellison, he's like, hey, good job on this, but you really fucked up our Ninja Turtle brand. And the person was like, what? He's like, I didn't like it, man. This is a $480 million brand. We took a $480 million bath, and now they're devalued. What the fuck, Seth Rogen? I didn't fucking like it. I don't like it, all right? And he stormed away. Like, they pissed him off, and he stormed away. A couple of days went by. They called Paramount HR. Proper procedure. They said, Mr. Ellison hurt my feelings, sir. Sir, Mr. Ellison. Or it was HR. Ma'am, Mr. Ellison hurt my feelings, ma'am. Mr. Ellison hurt my feelings. And they said, really? What? Tell us of this terrible grievance that Mr. Ellison has done. And I said, sir, I'm at him. Sir, I'm at him. He yelled at me for losing like almost $500 million. He told me I devalued one of the most valuable Paramount properties. He said that if I made mistakes, I had to be accountable. And they called up Mr. Ellison, and I said, Dave, sir, can we call you sir? And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And they're like, sir, you yelled at this poor creator that made the Ninja Turtles. You made them cry. You made them cry. Tears. And, people come to me often talking about this show, grown men a lot, often with frequently with tears in their eyes. A lot of people with tears in their eyes. And they say to me, sir, you've got to save Star Trek. So I know what it's like to see this, but with tears in their eyes, just begging. Anyway, that's the story. Tell you more about it. Good story for another time, right? But again, R.I.P. Staten Island Chuck. We love you guys. We got some of the show with good sound. I'm sorry I fucked that one up. I thought I had it right. You know what? Between the getting all the different parts of this show set up, I've got to set up 2 StreamYard streams for this one, and another one for 2 YouTube streams and a fucking stream for Rumble, where who knows what's going to happen. And I'm not going to name names, but if you know, one of our friends, a Rumbler, hung it up. Happy trails to them. Good luck. You gave it your best. Maybe in a few months you come back and do it again. Good luck. All the best to that person. And if they want to accept it, they can. Price of Reason's on? I better get off the air before everybody leaves. Price of Reason commands 90 concurrents. Princely. If you go to Price of Reason, do me a favor. Tell them Admiral Teag sent you. Good for me. Good for you. Good for everyone, including the whales. And by the way, join us Thursday, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. There be whales there. Let me tell you, between the they, them, Hadar, and Sam, the hologram who shops at the Jamaica Mall. Whoa, sirs and madams. Whoa. All right, everybody. We love you all. We're glad you had a good time. And here comes Sydney Sweetie with 2 hours and 47 minutes in the tank, like almost an hour of that with good sound. I'll try not to do it again. I made a little bit of a mistake. Before you go, you need to know something. This is very important, sirs and madams. Believe you me. At Saving Star Trek, we're very lucky. We have a fantabulous community. You're all the best. And that's why I want to take a moment to thank the genius of Gene Roddenberry, the music of Youngblood, and the we need to pass the Save Act. I want you guys to get more into the video essays. Do me a favor, when I do break down and make it anyway, can you guys just go like it if you don't watch it? Just watch it and see if you like it. It's the only way we're ever going to get to 10,000 subs. And it's the only way we're going to get to 5,000 by June. That's the goal. Like the stream, 33%. You all got your heart in the right place. All of you. You're wonderful people, and I thank you. I only watch when streams are live. 29%. It makes sense. Yes, video essay prefer. Yes, just talk to the avatar. 40%. If it carries across the whole channel, 1,200. If we could get 1,200 views in the first 36 hours, it would go viral. And then everything that you guys watch the live streams for, everything that you come to the live streams for, then maybe we can start to save Star Trek. YouTube respects the upload a lot more. Why? Because the live stream costs them money. If you don't give them an even amount of uploads and those uploads keep tanking, they'll tank your live stream and eventually they'll strike your channel. Seems to be the way it goes. Okay. Like, if you notice, people who do the mix of uploads and videos, if both are successful, they don't seem to have the kind of problems that people who can't get one or the other going. Shorts, if I do this, they'll look the other way for it. I would like the next video to go somewhere. We're going to make it in the style that people who like us live are at. And here's the thing. I know you like the interaction. The focused ideas and thoughts of our review of Star Trek Academy, we're going to be in the studio before we go live. We're going to go record 15 minutes. I'll edit it down to 8 to 10. And we'll make an upload where it's a lot like the live energy. And there'll be some video in there to help you out. I'm going to spend my time working on this and doing a good job. I'm going to spend, hopefully, most of Friday. We'll see, though. My Uncle Dick called, and there's some work he needs me to do for him. What can I tell you? Richard, thank you. The money is the money helps. But that's just a little inside joke for me and my buddies. Listen, here's the... Oh boy, did I ever set myself up with that one. All right, guys, listen, I love you all. Say hi to Price of Reason. And Saving Star Trek is brought to you by the genius of Gene Roddenberry, the ineptitude of Alex Kurtzman, and Star Trek fans like Sean Carter, exceptionally generous member of the Q Continuum tonight. The Dead Man, another exceptionally generous member of the Q Continuum tonight. And amazing Mr. House Party 6, who was so great and made so many of you a part of this channel. I thank you all, and I love you all. I could do the Dio and the Ozzy thing together. What can I tell you? It's fun, right? I love you all. I'll see you next time. Here comes Sydney Sweeney. Say hi to Price of Reason for me, and I'll see you back here on Thursday for Starfleet Academy with Sci-Fi CSI and the rest of the Saving Star Trek gang. Till then, I leave you with, you know where you love her. Here she is, the dance of Salome for you. What is going on with my media stuff? Here we go. God. Oh, great. It's frozen. It doesn't seem to want me to show you Sydney Sweeney today. Let me see something. All right. I can take care of this. I have a shortcut for this one. Damn. Some of this is StreamYards too. All right. I can't do Sydney Sweeney tonight. We love you all.